Good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. Hey, we got a crowded house this morning. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the back to school special summer review of sorts with the House of Nerd Show and some very special talented guests. Very lucky to be joined by well, you know what? Why don't we do this? I'll give everybody an opportunity to introduce themselves to the House of Nerd community. What's going on? Who wants to kick it off? We're just by the seat of our pants here. Let's go.
I'll go. I'm Julio Anta, writer. I should have had it with me, but Home from Image Comics is my latest book out right now. But yeah, right back there. Sir just got it framed up. But yeah, happy to be here.
Hey, thank you so much, Julio, for hanging out with us. Yes, home, folks. When was it 2021? I want to say
2021. Yeah.
2021. One of 2021's best. You guys already know we spoke about it plenty of times here in the show. So if you haven't already checked it out, I guess we'll keep the order going in order of who's on. Jonathan, if you will, please.
All right. Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me on. I'm Jonathan Hedrick, comic book writer. Some of my titles are The Recount from Scout Comics, The Space Cadet from the Scoot imprint, Freak Show Night at Second Sight, and my Kickstarter book, Capable, which is live right now.
Capable, yes. Nerdy, award-winning.
That's right.
Capable, as voted by the community. Man, that was awesome. So you got the latest issue live on Kickstarter.
That's correct. Yep. Check it out.
There you go, folks. And we're gonna drop that link in the chats for everybody. Fel.
Yeah. Good morning, everyone. My name is FellHound. I'm a writer, artist. You probably know me best for Commander Rao with Scout Comics, which recently got a Ringo nomination, which was very cool. And I also did the prequel to, thank you, the prequel to Commander Rao called And We Love You, which was kickstarted earlier this year. And yeah.
That is awesome. Ringo nomination for Commander Rao. That's great. Congratulations on that. And I should say, fellow Torontonian folks. We share the same LCS.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool.
Cyber City.
Cool. Yeah, shout out to any Cyber City squad who's watching. Great store for those who are local to the Toronto area. Last but not least, certainly not least, is the big homie Sheldon. What's going on, my man? How you doing?
What's going on, bro, man? Can't complain. Sheldon Allen, writer. Talk a lot of ish as well on Twitter. Just very random with stuff. Latest books from Scout is Crucified. I also have Snatch from Scout, and I also have Concrete Jungle from Scout. Got a couple upcoming projects as well, possibly from Scout. So, hey, let's get it.
Hey, looking forward to everything you're putting out. And then each one of you guys, man, we're super grateful for you guys to come hang out with us today. Talk a little bit of nerd pop culture, best of comics, film, TV. Are we getting into music? I don't think that was on the list. Not music, but man, it's been great. It's been a great summer, great year for media content so far, man. Huge, some big blockbusters. So, folks, today we're here to talk all the best of again comics, film, TV shows, and then at the end of the discussion, we got a giveaway. 4 chances. Four chances for everybody to win each one of these super talented creators. Gonna hook us up with signed books, man. Signed books. So Elle, Elle's got the spinny wheel ready. There was another thing too, wasn't there, Elle? Excuse me. Okay, so if you guys, for the YouTube folks who are watching, we had opportunities for the Instagram, the Twitter people to enter into the contest, but for the YouTube only folks, or if you're watching with us live, hashtag House of Nerd back to school. Drop it in the live chats, and you're gonna be entered into the giveaway, and you'll have one of 4 chances. Yes, there we go. There's the hashtag. I'll just drop it. Thank you, Elle. HoN back to school in the live chats, and you're gonna be entered. And you already know I created about a good dozen burner accounts because hey, I want. Let me have a crack at these books, man. So no, but yes, HoN back to school, folks, and you guys will be entered for this dope giveaway. And again, I can't thank you guys enough. Very generous of every one of you. Thank you guys. Shall we kick off? Shall we kick off the discussion, folks? How's everybody in the live chats doing? I do want to say thank you to everybody. I see the live chats are popping. Thanks for everybody to come hang out with us today, this morning. We hope you guys have fun with us. Here's the deal. Back to school, summer review. Boom. Again, we're talking best here, sorry. We're talking best comics, TV shows, and film. Let me just where did my presentation go here? Boom, here we go. Again, meet the group. Look at that. We're all in class. We're hanging out. We're having fun. What are we starting? What is this? Elementary, high school, college? What are you guys thinking? Preschool, kindergarten?
Definitely elementary vibes with this
elementary vibes. I think so.
This is like COVID homeschool vibes right here.
Yeah, the Zoom graphics.
Hey, I love it. Look at this class. It's gonna be fun. I think the goals. The goals, I've already said it, man. We're talking the best of the summer, the best of 22 that has offered us so far. And also, yeah, I feel to mention we're gonna get into most anticipated as well. Boom. Fel, I know you're a little shorter on time than the rest of us. So I figured let's kick it off with you. Make sure we get you an opportunity to talk. So your top 3 comics.
Yes.
Top 3 comics. Let us know what's going on.
Yeah. So my top number 1 comic of the year is a thing called Truth by Elisa and Yolanda. It's from Image Comics, and it's pretty much this like really, really fun, really queer like road trip where they try to recreate a lot of scenes from movies, and it was just, I don't know. I'm like a massive fan of Elisa's art. I adored their art on Destiny NY, and like I don't know, I'm just a really big fan of their art. So when this book came out, and it was super fun, and it was super wholesome, and it was super queer, it was just like pretty much everything I've ever wanted in a comic, and it just stuck out. Like, it's so cute, it's so queer, it's so amazing. So that was my number 1 pick for this year. And
Truth. Okay.
yeah, and then second is I literally just read this book like last week, but Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow. It started in I think last like 2021, but it wrapped up this year. I just picked up the trade, and it was like amazing. Like, I mean, like this is the idea of giving Supergirl a sword was just a genius idea. Thank you, Tom King. Thank you to oh my god, I cannot remember the artist's name, who is very, very talented. But thank you to her for making this comic, and it was just like this amazing kind of like Wild West take on Supergirl, and it was amazing. I don't know, the art is so good. And lastly, yeah, my third pick is actually a self-published comic called Side Quest by Grant Stoy, and Elle Resico, who is also from the Toronto area. It's like a really, really fun D&D comic. I think they're about to launch their Kickstarter for the final issue later in September, and it's so good. It's so cute. It's very wholesome, and it really, I don't know. There's like a big emotional aspect to it that I don't think people are realizing, but it is so well done, and I am so excited for this comic to like wrap up.
So this is another local Torontonian.
So Allaire is, yeah. They do a lot of shows in the GTA area, and her husband Tobin is also a letterer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check that out. Like, you know, I love supporting the local people.
Yes.
That's cool. That's more. It looks like fantasy leaning a little bit.
Yeah. So it's based around D&D, like Dungeons and Dragons.
Okay.
Yeah. But it's very, very cool. The art is amazing. The writing is very good. Highly recommend checking it out and checking out the Kickstarter when it launches in September.
Al's a massive D&D fan. You're a dungeon master, are you not, Al? You got your own group going.
I didn't even realize you were talking to me.
No?
No.
No, you don't have no. Okay. And Fel, it was actually, yeah, it was the artist on Supergirl that I hope I'm pronouncing this correct. 𝐬𝐿 𝐸𝐿.
Yes.
Yes. And I managed to I read the first couple issues of that run, and it was great. It was cool. I just kind of lost track of it because there's like an endless amount of titles out. But yeah, it seems to be a lot of great reception with Tom King's Supergirl book there. So I'm gonna have to dig back into that one.
Yes, do it.
So your top 3: A Thing Called Truth, Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, and Side Quest. Okay, not too bad. Who do we got next here, folks? Here we go. Julio, you're up, my man.
Hey,
your top 3.
This was a tough choice. I feel like a lot of good books came out, but you know, for me, my top comic was definitely The Good Asian from my buddy Pornsak Pashodi. You know, for me, I love noir. I love books that, I don't know, that teach you something, like a part of history that you or most people aren't aware of. So, you know, not only is Pornsak like an amazing artist or writer, but, you know, it brought those two things together for me. So it really, you know, everything I want in like a great extended series. I think it was 12 issues, 10 or 12 issues, but yeah, I love it. It's all out in trade now. I think a hardcover is coming next year. Number 2 is New Burn. I feel like it's a book a lot of people have slept on. But the trade just came out, I think, last week. But it's written by Chip Zdarsky. So, you know, I feel like Chip is one of the biggest writers now in comics. And Jake Phillips is an amazing artist who worked on this. And again, kind of noir, but very procedural, kind of like, you know, like a procedural TV show. It's a really cool concept about this guy. I guess he's kind of like a PI, but he's contracted by every mob family in New York. So he's kind of like this protected person who goes and investigates things whenever, you know, one of the families needs to know, you know, who did a hit, who, you know, kidnapped someone or whatever. He's kind of like this, you know, free agent that works for everyone. And he, you know, the beginning of the first issue, he picks up a partner who's kind of like our, you know, our new person on the scene that helps us understand this world. And then in the kidlit side of it, my friend Johnny Christmas, he has a book called Swim Team that just came out, middle grade graphic novel. It's really fantastic. Again, kind of like The Good Asian, integrates a lot of like great social commentary and history about segregation in swimming pools throughout, you know, U.S. history. in the Jim Crow era, and how that has like a ripple effect throughout history. And really it's about this young girl who, you know, is afraid of like going in the water and swimming. And through the help of, you know, someone who lives in her apartment building, really like finds that confidence to become a swimmer. And it's really fantastic. I'm working on a middle grade graphic novel right now. So that book was like a huge inspiration and like a well of, you know, that I went to for like tone. And, you know, one of the big things with middle grade is like the kid voice, you know, and not being above that age range. So that book has been really big for me too. But yeah, honestly, any of these could be number one. I don't think I ranked them, but you know, I think that works too. So, but yeah, those are my top comics.
Hey, I love
And
it.
Johnny Christmas is great. Crema is like one of my favorite recent graphic novels. And his issue of Silver Coin was easily one of the best issues yet.
Nice. Yeah, I don't remember who the artist was on Crema. It was a Brazilian artist, but fantastic, like beautiful art on that one.
Okay.
But yeah, love Johnny stuff.
I didn't realize, that he was the same writer who did Crema, which I thought, did we
it
review
won.
show,
It won Copper Drop.
Yeah, that was a fantastic, man. I really enjoyed
Who
that.
pitched it though? I think it was me, huh?
Was that your pick?
I think it was my pick, yeah.
Every once in a while, every once in a while, you pick, you sure know how to pick them. But that was a fantastic book. Was that I believe, not to digress too much. That was because I want to get the audience to check that out if they have it. That was released this year, was it not, or is it that a little?
I think it was. It's one of those weird things. It was published by 𝐂𝐸𝐸 Originals, maybe 2 years ago, but it was just put out in print by Dark Horse last year or early this year. But yeah, so like if you're, you know, if you have Amazon Prime or whatever, you can read it for free online, or you can pick up the trade from Dark Horse.
Folks, check it out. That was that was a really enjoyable gem of a book. Crema, CREMA, if I'm not mistaken. Johnny Christmas, folks, check it out. And I haven't checked out Good Asian. Was there a prequel series to this one, or was this standalone?
No, it's standalone. I think someone in the chat mentioned Infidel. That was Pornsack's first book. That was really fantastic also. And something Kim and I have like talked about it publicly, but like anyone who's like trying to start off like as a writer, trying to break into comics, like the back of that trade has his proposal that he sent to Image, like his pitch for Infidel. That was super like instrumental as kind of like a template for me when I was putting together my pitch for HoN that I sent to Image. So definitely like a great book and like a great resource in the back as well.
Yeah. Great set of picks there, Julio. And then it's crazy that you mentioned how is a Chip Zdarsky book slept on a little bit, but it's true.
I know,
feel
man.
like not enough people are checking it. It's not like his other books that seem to, you kind of see it everywhere. Newburn's great.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic. I think the issue that maybe some people are having with it is that it is so procedural, you know, within like the single issue format. Like I think so many of us have gotten used to like reading for the trade, and this is like what, you know, not exactly one and done because things spill over, but you know, it's like one like mystery per issue. So, but it's fantastic. Trade is out now. Like great way to read it too.
Yep. Just dropped this Wednesday. Folks, check that one out. Really great stuff. Who do we got next? Sheldon, what's going on, my man? Sheldon's top 3 comics. Talk to us.
Yeah, it's so funny you have like this little classroom theme, because I was always that student where the teacher's like, can't you just stick to the assignment? But you know, like I told Sergio, I was like, you know, I think I'm gonna do some older school recommendations that I've been reading, because I've really been trying to get in touch with, you know, my superhero roots, kind of sort of. You know, I feel like the majority of the conversation these days when we talk about superheroes, we're talking about cinematic universes. And I was like, let me get back, you know, in touch with the superhero side from the comics. And so I've been rereading a lot of my trades from back in the day. And I've been doing it all year, and these are just some of the ones that's stuck out to me. I reread Supreme Power for the first time in years earlier this year, and it is incredible. It's still one of the best comics that I've ever read, and you can see its influence to this day. And it's crazy that Marvel, allegedly, the rumor is they're getting ready to announce Squadron Supreme, and I couldn't ask for anything more. And just reading it, you can see a lot of the influence even on television shows like The Boys. You see a lot of that superheroes as celebrity. It's got a black speedster who also has like a bunch of endorsements. The way Hyperion is depicted, it's just like Homelander in The Boys. But it's just an insane read. It starts off as kind of slow and methodical, and it just builds into this explosion of violence, and then it kind of restarts again and resets. It's one of my starter comics. Whenever somebody's asking, hey, what should I start with, or they want to get into comics, it's one of the ones I always recommend. I also recommend Preacher as well. But Supreme Power, it doesn't get any better than that. Another one, it's kind of obscure, is The Hood, and I see that they're putting him in one of the Marvel shows as well too. But Brian K. Vaughan, he's one of my favorite writers, and this is one of his earliest works in Marvel, and it's real interesting because you can see him kind of sort of finding his voice a little bit still, and you can still see the writer that he becomes. But this is kind of the start here. It's almost like he's sort of testing the waters because it is a max book. It's a mature rated book, and you kind of see he's almost sort of testing, how far he can get away with stuff. And you see, he takes it to the next level with his current stuff like Spectators and Saga. But this is kind of sort of the start of it. And one of the things I love about Brian K. Vaughan is when he does the company-owned work, is he really taps into those universes. He uses those threads from the tapestry, and he really embraces it. He doesn't try to shy away from it, and you can see that in The Hood. And then Savage Dragon, the first 25 issues or so of Savage Dragon are pretty much perfect comic books. It's still ongoing to this day, but that first little run that Larson had, it's incredible. I don't think he's topped it with any of his work. It's just prime time, tier 1, grade A superhero comics. So yeah, that's kind of sort of the little vibe that I've been on this year, just kind of revisiting and just retouching some of my old trade paperbacks rather than them just sitting on the shelf. I asked a question earlier in this year. I was like, do y'all even reread y'all comic books, or do y'all just read them and just like toss them to the side? Like, what's the deal? And, that was sort of one of my things. I just wanted to reread all the trade paperbacks that I had sitting on my shelf.
Hey, for sure, man. Every once in a while, it's nice to revisit. Open up, the storage boxes and revisit some of the favorites, right? I might lose some points here with comic readers and nerds, but I've never read Savage Dragon. I never, it's just one of those things that just kind of I missed it. But you're saying, man, hey, listen, top 3, right, of your readers.
Listen, man, it's one of those books. Obviously, I was a real young kid back then, but it was the first wave of Image, and it wasn't one of the more popular books for Image. Not that it was unpopular, but when you talked about Image Comics back then, you're talking Youngblood. As funny as it may seem now, you're talking Spawn, you're talking Wildcats. That was like tier 1. But those books, they're kind of spotty with the release date. Spawn, not so much, but the other two. But Savage Dragon, it pretty much always came out on time for the most part. It was really consistent, and it's one of those books. It kind of reminds me of, I guess, a good comparison, not story wise, but I'm talking tone wise, would be like the AMC or the FX shows that you'll see, like Breaking Bad or Better Call Saul, in that it's mature. It's for adults, but it doesn't have like the F-bombs dropping everywhere. It doesn't have sex scenes or anything like that. In other words, it's not like a Sheldon Allen comic. It's a lot more mature.
Okay, I might have to check that out. Yeah, I mean, and it's still going, eh? The Savage Dragon.
Yeah, he's still dropping it. He's still going strong. I think they're like in the 300s now.
Wow. Wow, man. Yeah, because like image, that was what, like, I want to say like 30 years ago now, right?
I
Early
think they just
90s?
did a special or something about
Yeah,
like
we're
that.
in the 30-year anniversary now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it is 30. Wow, that's crazy, man. That's incredible. Little bit of a sec. Do you guys ever, being comic writers, creators, envision creating a world or a story that has, a run, in the hundreds, 5, 10, 20 years? Have anything in mind for that, or is perhaps a goal even, or?
I mean, I would love that,
Yeah,
but
man.
I feel like we're past that era, like if if a Marvel and a DC book can't even go that long, like an indie book, like an image book, I mean, I'd love to be proven wrong, but that to
Mhm.
me seems like that's not gonna happen anymore.
The books that have that kind of longevity like that, you have to live that life. That book is like your life. It's almost like another child. And so you see it with books like, Dave Sims, he was doing his book, and Stan Sakai, 𝐬𝐭𝐚𝐲, Eric Larson with Savage Dragon. Like, that's your life pretty much. And I just to piggyback off the previous point, I don't even necessarily think that's sort of where the industry is right now. I think maybe the closest book that can maybe compare is Saga. The most recent book, I guess you could say, is maybe Saga. But
Yeah.
I don't see any other book doing that. Even Walking Dead, I feel like Kirkman cut abruptly short because he's like, yeah, I'm ready to move on to something else.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's part of it too, like wanting to do more projects, and not be like, Eric, I guess, like, all power to him. He just wants to do that character. But I think also, like, to Sheldon's point about the market, like graphic novels are increasingly becoming like what readers want and what, people are creating for. So yeah, I don't know, but I love reading long runs for sure.
hmm hmm I think in part it's just the way that people consume media these days, not just comics, right? Short, quick bursts, right? To keep our attention, it's, yeah, I mean, it's crazy. You take that in, like 30 years creating any series, right? I mean, the most recent, I think, yeah, Sheldon, you says is Saga, and he's like, Brian, what are they in like the 50s or 60s issues releases? So I mean, it's nuts. It's nuts. Don't know if we'll see something like that again for sure. To keep it moving, who do we got next here? Jonathan. Okay. Jonathan,
right.
bringing the heat. My man, what's going on? Talk to us.
Yeah, so these weren't in any typical particular order, but so one of my picks was Grimm by my friend Stephanie Phillips. Awesome story. Takes place in the afterlife, about this character named Jessica, who is a reaper, and her duty is to bring people from the living side to the afterlife, and but she doesn't know how she got into that position. She doesn't know what killed her, so we kind of see her going through that journey. And then I picked The Closet from James the Fourth, or the Quattro, as I like to call him. And it's just a cool. I love Quick Wham Jammies. Speaking of ongoing series going to 300 issues, that's great and all. But I also like quick bursts of stories too. So this being a 3-issue story was great. Reminded me of something from like the Twilight Zone, and with like this. It doesn't focus so much on like the scary elements, but more of like the slow burn towards it, and I can really appreciate that. And then 8 Billion Genies, such a cool concept. If you're not aware, just everyone one day just gets a one wish, and then everything goes to hell after that. I love what if concepts, and some of my stories begin with a what if concept, and it's typically like, what if this one thing in our world just was reversed or changed, and you can kind of, there's so much story that can evolve from that. So excited for 8 Billion Genies.
Yeah, 8 Billion Genies has been a whole bunch of fun. That's just one of those,
Absolutely.
man. It's just a great vibe to it. From like, you know, the art, you know, dynamic. A lot. There's always seems to be a lot going on in this world, right? I mean, like, you got all these genies and the shenanigans and the chaos that ensues and stuff. So that's been a great one. Pretty hot. And then Grim is like, issue 1 is like on a 4th or a 5th printing. So it seems like but that's just
very
flying.
successful.
Yeah, I haven't read it myself. I mean, I feel like I'm probably the only one who hasn't, right?
There's so many comics out there, you know, that we're in a great age for comics. You know, there's never in short supply. So there's not.
So.
I always feel like that guy, speaking of Twilight Zone, the guy who is the last man on Earth, has all the time to finally read, but there's not enough time to read.
It's crazy, man.
Classes.
Yeah.
Not enough time for sure. And then Closet Elle. The Closet was you've been raving about that series for a while.
Oh yeah, I read it when it was on Substack, and I was like so upset that nobody else was reading it. They're like, I'm just gonna wait for physical, and then when the physicals came out, I'm like, a lot of people are gonna be disappointed because I feel like they were definitely hyping it as a certain genre that it wasn't. But I do think it's like a masterful tale of like domestic terror. Like, absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, very character driven too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sorry, I was just and you know what? I thought I had it here. Jonathan, I just dropped in the chats there. The link to your Kickstarter, folks.
Awesome. Thank you.
So check it out. Capable, live right now, Nerdy Award winning, folks. Check it out. And I did want to give Fel a chance to. Fel's she gotta step out. But Fel, please, before you go, plug your upcoming works. What are you up to? What do you have upcoming? Yeah, you know, all that. Good stuff.
Yeah. Thank you. So I'm actually on vacation right now, so I have to head out soon. But it was really fun joining you guys, talking about all the cool comics we like this year. And my last comic, And We Love You, just finished wrapping up on Kickstarter. It's available on my online store, and it will be available, I think, published with Scout somewhere around February 2023. Fingers crossed. But yeah, and if you want to check out Commander Rao, you can find it on the Scout web store. You can find it on my website at fellhoundart.com. And if you want to follow me on socials, you can find me on Twitter at fellhound_, or on Instagram at fell.hound. One last book I would like to tell you guys about is that I'm actually on the editorial team for Extra Pages Press, which is like a queer publisher who puts out a lot of queer anthologies. We have one upcoming called Sharp Wit and the Company of Women, which is about like a queer sword lady anthology. And we have a lot of really, really cool talent on board. I am so excited for it. Kickstarter, I think, launches end of September. So if you're into that, keep an eye out. And thank you so much for having me.
Ringo for Rao, man, that is awesome. So just before you get, we were talking about it last night. Ringo Awards, that's only voted on by comic creators. I don't know, maybe if anyone else on the panel can answer that. Because I was trying to figure out a way how to vote on those guys. But it's not like the Eisners. I don't think. I think it's restricted to comic creators. Am I mistaken? Anybody know in the chats or on the panel?
I know when I voted, they had like this form that you kind of like a questionnaire, which just like list like books you were in, and then just some kind of website to verify it. So I think it is maybe just for creative professionals, but I am honestly not sure. the people at the Ringo seem very friendly to answering questions. So
Mhm.
yeah, if anyone's interested, maybe you can ask them. But
So,
yeah.
so folks, if you're able to vote Commander Rao, Ringo Naman, that's incredible, man.
Thank you.
Congratulations again, big time. Should be celebrated. It is restricted to the creators in the
Yeah.
industry. Okay, thanks, Brent. You link to proof that you're published in some capacity. Okay. I might have to publish a little mini comic real quick, and just so I can be able to vote. You know, Philip Shaw Antonio, you gotta show that support.
Appreciate you.
Hey man, I'll bang something out real quick. Maybe get one of these maybe Julio or Jonathan Sheldon when you get editor, you know. Man. No, I don't want to bring shame to the wonderful
Under a pseudonym.
under a pseudonym. Yeah. Not Sergio, something like that. But yes, thank you so much, Fel, for joining us today. And again, thank you for offering up the signed book for the giveaway, which folks we're gonna do after the discussion. Did you want to let the folks watching know what you put up for the giveaway, Fel?
Yeah, so for the giveaway, you can win a signed copy of Commander Rao #1 with the web store exclusive variant cover by Gem Eros. It is a super cool cover. It's limited, so I'm very excited to put that up. And congrats to the winner if I'm not around to see who it is.
Hey, for sure. Thank you again so much. And we gotta get you back on once you win that ring. We're gonna put it out into the universe. We're gonna put it out into the universe. We gotta manifest it. And if you feel like excuse me, if you feel like feel free in the private chat, drop the links to any of your sites or works, and then we'll sure to drop it into the chat for you there, so everybody watching can check out that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you. I'll drop that in.
All righty.
Probably have to head out after.
Sure. So again, thanks for joining us, and enjoy the rest of your vacation.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right.
Take care, everyone.
Later.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.
So where were we at? Yes, Jonathan. Did we cover the bases on your top 3 comics, bud?
We did. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Substack closet. Any gentlemen have Substack? Any Julio, Jonathan?
No Substack.
Yeah. Any plans? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, I have an email newsletter. I think that's getting my feet wet and kind of trying to see if there's a want or need for a Substack first. I'm able to see the statistics of how many people actually open it, and then how many people actually click the links inside of it. So, I'm going to use that as proof of concept before if I did a Substack, I want to make sure I have enough, content in there for people to want to subscribe to it.
For sure.
That's where I stand on that.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
And I think we also get notifications, for when you on Kickstarter, if you follow Jonathan on Kickstarter, you get especially every time you back a book, it'll email us saying you backed it. So there's some interesting titled books you've backed. Where I was like, is this? And I clicked it. I'm like, that is what I thought it was.
Man.
So that's always fun to see.
Kickstarter really just putting the creators on blast. Yeah. Oh, man, we gotta change those settings and stuff. Oh man. Who you were about to?
No. I was just gonna say I have a newsletter sign up on my website. I've yet to ever send a newsletter. I probably will. I got 2 books out next year, so I probably will start using it. But in regards to Substack, I think it's interesting to see now, we're at the year mark for all these creators that were given the grant money, and to see how many of them are choosing to not stick with it, because it just isn't financially viable without the grant money. But I think we saw a lot of cool things when they were kind of propped up by that grant money. You know, they were able to do a lot of cool things. I think James Tynion is a great example of that. I think The Closet is the first comic that was released on Substack that is also published in print. So, you know, it'll be cool to see everyone else's. I'm super interested in the Three Worlds, Three Moons, the Jonathan Hickman universe that they're creating over there. But yeah, you know, if Substack ever wants to pull up with that truck of money, you know, I'm not going to say no, but
you're not going to turn it down.
I should start sending newsletters first, though.
Yeah, it's funny. I'm pretty sure when I first came across your work, I signed up to the newsletter, and I'm thinking about I don't think I've seen anything in my inbox.
Nah, how long has that been? It's been a while. I've had that form up for a long time.
Man, hey, looking forward to that first email in the inbox there. So who's up? Oh, okay. It is my turn to share. So my top 3 is pretty simple. I said I'm only reading comic books that are in this color palette range there. On you can see there a bit of a theme. No, but I promise you, folks, I didn't. That kind of just worked out like that. My number one book read of the summer of 2022 so far, A Righteous Thirst for Vengeance. I mean, folks, if you've watched this show, you've seen me talk about this book ad nauseum at this point. Just stellar read. You've got an accountant who kind of stumbles into the underground world of hitmen and assassinations, and he becomes something of a surrogate parent to a young child. Al, what's the little boy's name?
Debatable.
Debatable. Okay.
You say Javier, I say Xavier.
Xavier, yeah. So we've been going back and forth on that. Let's just call him Javier on this one. And there's a series that really each issue packs an emotional punch. Rick Remender, man, does the most amount of with the least amount of words, man. And then Andre Lima's Araujo art. Oh, I can't say enough things about that. I think just some of the best stuff I've seen recently. So Righteous Thirst for Vengeance, folks, check it out, man. Great stuff. And I think one more issue left, if I'm not mistaken. Is that right, Al?
Yeah,
I think
the last one was the penultimate.
Yeah. My number 2, The Brother of All Men from Zach Thompson, fellow Canuck, fellow Canadian. This is a great one. It's based on real events, post World War I. You got a man who's in search of his long lost brother. He finds himself in Western BC, and the brother is in the clutches of a cult. So again, this is a book based on real events. A cult by the name of the Brotherhood of. Oh man, where are my notes? Oh, do you remember? You gotta help me out here.
Aquarius.
I'm sorry.
Aquarius.
Brotherhood, the Brotherhood of Aquarium.
Something like
that sounds about right. The Brotherhood of Aquarium, but it's crazy. So it's this guy who basically finessed. Amanda is really good stuff. Who finessed like hundreds of people out of their life savings, and he kind of had this this cult out on an island in BC. But just stylistically and how this story is written, I was just blown away. I think issue number 1 was probably to be honest my favorite single issue of this year. So folks, if you haven't checked it out, Brother of All Men, dope. And then that Texas Blood, man, this is the one book you guys can count on. I speak about every single week on this
The
show.
homie.
I'm sorry.
I said the homie, Chris.
The big homie, Chris. Yeah, man. Chris Condon, Jacob Phillips, who you spoke about earlier, Julio, on Newburn. So he also does That Texas Blood. And then there's one of those. So this is volume 3. I guess the thing I can say on volume 3, it's volume 1 was more. So it's all subgenres of like horror. This one volume 2 is more like hack slash. You got a serial killer on the loose in the town of Ambrose County. It's good stuff, man. I mean, one of those series that just gets better and better with each issue. So those are my 3, and then also too, like I said, just check out the color palette, folks. What would you guys call this? Was it like what kind of a green is that?
Like a teal or a
Teal?
muted blue.
That's Carolina. That's Carolina blue, right?
Carolina blue? Yeah. Okay. So when all else fails, I look. I said, "Oh, that's a nice shade of like blue/green." So those are my top 3, man.
And I also noticed you kind of picked all books that kind of had slightly pretentious titles too. I think it really gives off the vibes you try to
Do they
go
have
for.
Yeah?
I said not him doing all of the books with.
the brother of all men registers? What's That Texas Blood? What's going on there, huh?
What's going on?
And yeah, the big homie Chris. Which reminds me, folks, we're gonna have Chris Condon on in a couple weeks' time. So be on the lookout for that. Elle, what do you got going on? Top 3 comics.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Dark Spaces Wildfire has been so good. It's about it's Scott Snyder and Hayden Sherman, and Hayden, there's not a bad book that he has out right now, Above Snakes, Blink, and it's about like a forestry program group in California, slave labor, but it's a heist book, and the crew happens to all be incarcerated women. So, and then I have Do a Power Bomb, which it's a wrestling book, but Daniel Warren, it's so good. Like at the end of every issue, it's like a WTF moment, but not in like a corny way, like in a very well strung together way. And then Hit Me, Krista Faust, noir, a lot of sex, a lot. And it was overall a solid. One of the rare books in recent times that had a satisfactory ending. And so yeah, those are my top 3.
One of the few books that you just say one of the few books that had a satisfactory ending. Man,
Yeah.
you're
Some arcs or some minis, they don't like the last issue, it could be super underwhelming. You're like, you built all that up for this. But Hit Me had I was very content with the end. I was like, okay, I like that.
all right.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. Is it just me or is like wrestling like really hot in comics these days? You got Do a Power Bomb. Who was it? John Lees, who put out one recently.
Oh yeah.
WA.
Chris
I read
Condon's
it too.
got a one-shot from Aftershock. Hell is a Squared Circle, which is really good. I got to read an early copy of it.
Oh, you did. I'm gonna have to hit
Yeah.
up Chris. I'm like, yo, what's going on, my man? You're not doing the
Pick it
advanced
up. I'm
preview?
not like a wrestling fan, but like, like the wrestling sequences are super cool, but it's about a lot more than that. But it's a
Okay.
great book.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Julio, I'm kind of on, to be honest, to be transparent, I'm kind of on the same. I'm not a wrestling guy at all.
Yeah, it was Crimson Cage,
Crimson Cage by John Lees.
which was a play on Macbeth. It was really good.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. But yeah, I mean, with Chris's stuff in particular, I mean, his writing speaks for itself. So definitely gonna check that one out. Yeah. Is that leaning to his noir style?
Yeah, there's definitely some of that in there. I don't know. Like I don't know how much to say about it, but
Yeah, true. Fair.
like there's wrestling action in it. There's like wrestling scenes, But really, it's about a guy who wants to, who's always being cast as the heel, like the villain, and wants to be something bigger. He wants to be a bigger star. He's kind of living hand to mouth, and he makes a decision that really like propels the book forward the rest of the way. But it's a 48-page one shot from Aftershock.
The prestige format,
Really great, like full story in that book. Yeah, the prestige format too. So the art is incredible. I forget who the artist is. But Jake Phillips, who is his partner on That Texas Blood, does the cover on it.
That was a sick cover. Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah. And I think there's like a Ratio Francavilla variant for that one as well too. So excited to check that out. So Fel's not here, but we're gonna keep it moving. Her top picks, folks. Number one, she had Everything Everywhere All at Once. At number two, Turning Red from Pixar, which is an absolute gem. Yes, love it. And then at number three, her number three pick was Top Gun Maverick. And it was so funny when she sent me her list here. I laughed because I think it's the next slide. My top three as well, and I did this so because I know Al, you're gonna have a comment. You're saying, "Oh, you just copying. You just copying."
I don't live your life how you want to live it.
Get out of here.
If that's copying, that's
you always have your comment. So I said, let me screenshot my. This is June 4th. June the 4th. Yeah. My top three as well. Everything Everywhere All at Once, Top Gun Maverick, Turning Red. Man, so I'm not surprised she went with those all fantastic films.
Really Toronto bias on that Turning Red.
I did. Hey, man, let me go back to. Yeah, you can see there. You got the CN Tower, in the back there. Have you guys watched Turning Red?
Yeah, I love it. It's definitely my top 10 of the year. I almost put it in my top 3. But I loved it, man. It's one of those movies, like, it reminds me of seeing like a Miyazaki movie for the first time, where you just have like that really wholesome, like kind of joy in watching it. I also love this kind of like subgenre in animated movies that to me is so unrealistic, but of like telling your parents and your family like the traumas that they've inflicted on you and them like, coming to a happy ending by the end of it. You see it with Encanto. So I'm missing another one. Well, Everything Everywhere All at Once is about that too. But like, I love this like kind of subgenre that's happening in movies now. Like, it's interesting when things are kind of just like in the air because all of these movies were obviously in development at the same time. Like, they're not being influenced by each other and they're striking similar themes. But yeah, I love Turning Red. I love how personal it is. There's a great like making of feature, like a 30-minute making of feature on Disney Plus about it.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Like, if you're someone who likes like process and like learning how people like, made something, like it's really good. Okay,
that's on Disney Plus. Al, please send me your login code after the show.
I don't believe in an international crime. I'm sorry.
Hey, no, we're sharing. It's for friends and family.
That's an international offense at this point.
Come on now. We're familiar. Get out of here. You gotta send me that link. To your point there, I think what I love in media, really you have a lot of this content where the theme of generational trauma is really kind of it's out there and being spoken about, like which is fantastic. And I think a lot of people can relate to. So Turning Red and Everything Everywhere All at Once. Stellar film. And then you got Top Gun, which listen. Can I be honest with you guys? I was very disappointed that Top Gun was not in each and every one of your top 3. I said, man, listen, This to me was like the blockbuster, the film of the year.
Hold up though.
Yeah.
Hold on
What's
though.
going on, my man?
You and I, we've already talked about this. Did I not say early in the year? Did I not predict that Top Gun was going to be the film of the summer?
Hey,
even before the release date. The only reason it was not in my top 3, and I suspect it may be the same for the other guys, is because I pretty much figured somebody else was going to put it there. It's kind of, you know, just a no-brainer. It's one of the top films of the year.
Hey, it's the top, but I didn't see it in your top 3, Sheldon.
And no, so for me, when you told me that it's not about Air Force speed racers, I was like, then why is it marketed like this? I'm out. No interest. Zero.
No, I haven't even seen the first one, so
Me neither.
I'd
I
have
thought
to
it was
catch
about
up,
Air Force pilots racing or something.
If you haven't seen the first one, it's still an extremely enjoyable film. But if you have seen the first one, there's a cheat code that it starts with. The film starts with a cheat code, and that like the first 5 minutes is exactly the same as the original. That's kind of a spoiler, but it's not much of a spoiler. So once it starts like that original, you're like sucked in right there in there. And then the film goes on to proceed to be nothing like the original, but it still kind of sort of hits the same beats. It's kind of an amazing achievement. They got a couple cheat codes in there that they use. It's a spectacular film. I'm actually kind of shocked it was as good as it was, in my opinion.
That's cool. Yeah, for me also, not to judge anyone else or be a bummer, but I can't watch Tom Cruise with I can't see past the Tom Cruise, the Scientology of it all, I'm not for that, so it's hard for me to get past that and just pretend that he's this really cool action guy, for me he's the face of a cult. So yeah, it's a little tough.
That's fair, because to be honest, I was there with him before too. I couldn't separate, the performance versus, Tom Cruise, the person, and all that crazy, stuff that's going on in his personal life. But I don't know where it happened. Maybe at some point during his Mission Impossible run, and you just can't, he's just, he puts out these incredible action films, and I mean, what else has he put out recently? But Top Gun, it was just that thought never came into my mind. I was just pure unadulterated, just entertainment, big stupid ass grin on my face watching it, man. And yeah, that's great. Actually, Top Gun is my Top Gun, my top.
That's how you worded it too on your slide. Yeah. My Top Gun is my Top Gun.
Jonathan, any thoughts on Maverick, on these films here?
I actually haven't seen any of those movies up there. I really wanted to see Top Gun, Maverick, more so on a curiosity, because I did really like the movie in the past, and I recently rewatched it, but I don't think it really held up. And I hate that when that happens with the movie. You liked it before and you rewatch it, and it's not the same. So, but I'm curious with all the positive feedback I heard about it, and I can also appreciate the those people not wanting to watch it because of Tom Cruise in his Tom Cruise-ness that he does outside of movies. But yeah, I'll probably catch it whenever it's on a streaming service that I don't have to create a free password for.
Yeah. Oh, son, so you got me after? You're gonna share it with Jonathan as well too?
Yeah, I'm gonna do the commercial tier though. No free commercials. No commercials for you.
Oh, okay. Okay. We got Brandon in the live chat saying DC Super Pets was actually decent for a kids movie. Some good jokes and DC references, but the Justice League designs are a bit too different. Different. I actually just watched this film the other day. I thought it was a lot of fun. It is what it is, it's just go in and enjoy it. I thought it had some jokes for sure. Have you guys watched Super Pets?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I saw it. Me and my wife went and saw it. We had a good time. My wife and Francesca cried in the first 10 seconds of that movie. I was like, all right, that they got something there, you know.
Yeah.
Instantly, and it wasn't even really sad. But you know,
No.
you throw dogs and cats in the mix, and you know the waterworks come no matter what.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I was looking forward to it before I saw it. I think that's awesome. I've always been more of a fan of DC's animated stuff. I think some of their direct to video things they've done have been fantastic. The adaptations of the comic book series and events, like what they did, the Flashpoint animated movie, the Green Lantern First Flight. So, I mean, there's
cool.
some misses, but yeah, they should stick more with animation.
Oh man, yeah, their film side of things has been a little wonky to say that. Well, at least studio wise, man. I wish I can't wait till like they get their plan in order and then there's some kind of consistency. But it seems like they've had like buyouts and mergers like every 5 years for like the past 20 years, it seems like. So, you know, it's tough. It's tough, right? Oh, look who just joined us in the chats there. What's going on, Francesca? Thank you.
Ringo nominated, huh?
Ringo
As well.
nominated?
Yeah,
Steak?
her book Steak got nominated for Best in Design.
Oh, no way.
Yes.
Hey, that's dope. Congratulations. Yeah. For sure, man. Ringo nominated Best in Design. Steak. Okay. Check it out, folks. Matthew Merritt saying Flashpoint is the best. Speaking on Jonathan's, he's touching on, the DC animated stuff. You can't go wrong. What do we have? Who's up? Let me see here. Oh yeah, that was my receipts. Julio. Okay, top 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so I got to dip after this, but if you want, we can do my other picks quick after this.
Sure. Yeah, we'll do that.
Yeah. So you know, I think Northman is probably a surprising one. You know, it's like the most like aggro, like, you know, movie out there, but man, it blew me away. I'm a huge Robert Eggers fan. If you've seen The Witch or The Lighthouse, you know, for me, it's like every movie he's put out, I've liked more than the last one. You know, I know The Lighthouse was it's probably really polarizing for a lot of people because it's such a small film. But then with The Northman, you know, this is you know, I think this is a super creative writer and director who was given like a big Hollywood budget to make what's now called like the most accurate Viking movie. And it's a lot more than just like the brutality and like the, you know, huge aggro like set pieces and everything. You know, there's a lot of heart in it. It's incredible to see someone who like has these, you know, maybe more like niche tastes and given the budget to do a movie like this. I loved it. I saw it twice in theaters. Highly recommend that everyone watch it. My number 2 pick was Men, which I think is also a polarizing pick for a lot of people. I loved it. I thought there was a lot to say. There's a lot of great themes in it. Also like beautifully shot, like incredibly acted as well. Just really, really solid movie. And I don't recognize the image of the third one.
Oh, you know, I googled
Parallel Mothers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Came up. Is this not from the? Oh, I hope I didn't.
Well, I don't know. But so Parallel Mothers. It's Pedro Almodovar, the Spanish director. It's his newest movie. It came out 2021, but in the U.S., it came out this year. Just like really, really great movie about 2 women in different points of their lives. One is young, you know, early 20s. One is, you know, I think in her early 40s, and they are both giving birth the same day at a hospital. So one of them is an unwanted pregnancy. One of them is like, IVF, like been trying to get pregnant, and then one of them loses the baby essentially during childbirth. And it's this relationship that these two women forge based on like that shared experience, but then like the disparity of their experience as well. And it's just fantastic. If you love Almodovar's films, you'll love Parallel Mothers. A lot of the same themes, you know, mothers and women are a huge theme for him. And to me, this also added a lot of like social commentary with a lot of like the Spanish tragedies and you know, I don't remember what it's historically known as, but you know, it really shines a light on these murders that were perpetrated by like the fascist government in Spain in a really interesting way, while still like focusing on like this kind of small drama, like with pretty low stakes. But yeah, so those are my top 3 films.
Spanish director.
Yep.
Okay, not familiar with his stuff. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, Women on the Verge of a Nervous Breakdown is probably his most famous film. Yeah, a lot of great stuff.
Okay, cool. I'm just trying to pull up your
oh, cool.
Your other real quick here. Let me see. Sorry, guys. I think boom, there we go. Your top 3 TV shows.
Yeah, I'll go through these kind of quick. So Pachinko, Apple TV Plus show, fantastic, multiple timelines. Again, talking about generational trauma. It's essentially a show about the Japanese colonization of Korea over 3 generations, essentially. So the first timeline is this young girl experiencing it in real time. And then you see that young girl grow up essentially throughout the timelines until she's an older woman, and the grandmother of the main character of the final timeline. You know, just like great commentary on like the struggles that she went through under the Japanese occupation, and how that has kind of trickled down to what her grandson now is dealing with in the it's like the late or the early 90s, I think, but it's like the current timeline of the show. So just fantastic. Number 2 is Gordita Chronicles, HBO Max, just canceled after 1 season. Like fantastic show. Takes place in Miami, where I'm from. Dominican family.
I'm from Miami too. I was gonna say, I co-signed Gordita Chronicles, especially if you're from Miami. You're gonna know
where are you from?
I went to American Senior, so you know that area.
Yeah.
Hialeah. I'm in Miramar now, which is technically Broward.
Cool. No, I was born in Hialeah, grew up in Springs. Later, my family moved to Doral, but yeah, like the thing about Gordita is that it felt like so like real to like the Miami I grew up in, you know, like without all of like the, I don't know, like I feel like most times anyone talks about Miami or you see Miami, it's like, you know, it's the beach, it's like the tourist version of Miami. It's not like growing up and having nothing to do, and like, you know, Miami really just being like a series of smaller towns. You know, but yeah, so I love Gordita Chronicles. I think they're trying to find a new home for it. It was like one of the most watched shows on HBO Max, but just another like you know, victim of this new you know, regime at Warner Brothers and Discovery, that I think a lot of us have seen, just like really undercutting all Latino content, whether it's this or Batgirl. So really sad, but still like all the episodes are up there. Watch it. It's fantastic. Like, you know,
real quick before you get to your third one, you
Yeah.
said it's like the Miami, you know, that we grew up in. If you want to see something that's authentically the Miami we live in, may not be your cup of tea, but you need to check out Rap Shit. Also,
Yes.
on HBO Max.
So good.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, I've been watching it. It's a
extremely
little,
authentic.
it's a
Extremely
little,
authentic.
yeah, no, for sure. The social media aspect of it is a little too much for me. Like, if we had like 50% for those of you who don't know, the show is like all of it is framed as some sort of like social media, whether it's like Instagram Live or like a YouTube video or whatever. Really great show. I love everything that Issa Rae does. Like Insecure was huge for me. I love that show.
Except the ending. And I stand on that,
The
and I
ending of
added
Insecure?
her. Lawrence
I
doesn't
thought it was-
deserve anything good in life.
Nah, no, all right, we're not gonna go down this rabbit hole. But Lawrence was the victim from the beginning.
From the victim, not her raising somebody else's kid and have to be happy about it. Couldn't be me. Like, I was so upset by the finale. I like muted Issa Rae. I muted like Lawrence, the actor who plays him. I was like, I never want to. So he's in Top Gun Maverick. I will never see it because I can't stand his face because I do not like Lawrence.
All right, I'm gonna go to my last one. We Own This City. Just like, you know, if you're familiar with David Simon's work, that's The Wire, The Deuce, most recently was Plot Against America. Just like it's David Simon back in Baltimore telling a true story about what's now known as the most corrupt police unit in American history. Obviously that we know of. I'm sure there's more than that. But essentially, you know, it's a group called the Gun Trace Task Force. They're essentially a small, like, elite unit of cops whose job it is to take guns off the streets of Baltimore. And because they're this elite unit and because they have these, like, stats and, you know, all this success, all this public success, they're given all this leeway to essentially do whatever they want as long as they bring in the numbers for the department. And I think, as you can expect, that just leads to an incredible amount of corruption. You know, it's not a spoiler because this is real, but, you know, they essentially start robbing drug dealers, becoming drug dealers themselves, robbing regular citizens off the street, you know, like stopping someone for a traffic stop and then literally just stealing all the money in their wallet. You know, so it's really, you know, for me, this is like a genre that I call like civic art, you know, where it's like, obviously it's dramatized, it's art, but it's something that I feel like everyone needs to watch just so you can see like just the level of corruption that is present in like American police forces. Because like I said, this is just Baltimore. I'm sure it's, you know, there's more of this all over the place. There's a lot of this here in New York. But, you know, just like incredibly written, incredibly acted, and a lot of inspiration for me with, I have a short story, a Renee Montoya short story coming out from DC next in November. It's like a Batman urban legend story that really tackles, like, it has Renee tackling her, you know, the work that she's done as a cop and kind of trying to balance that with how she sees herself as a person. And that show, watching that show was definitely a big inspiration on writing that. But definitely recommend everyone watch that show.
And John Bernthal with the most punchable face in all of Hollywood.
Yo, John Bernthal plays the best piece of shit on
Honestly,
TV, you know, 100%. Or movies. Like, and you know, he's living up to it a little bit lately, but you know, he's a fantastic actor.
Yeah, and it speaks to his performances because every one of, it seems like every one of his characters, man, you hate him, man. Like, just truly biggest piece of shit, man. But your urban legends story, Julio, when does that drop, my man?
November 8th, maybe. It's Batman Urban Legends 21.
Urban Legends 21, and you've got a Renee Montoya story in that one. Looking forward to checking that out. Did you want to real quick touch on your most anticipated, or do you got to get
Sure, I can do it quick. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna pull that one up here real quick. Just bear with me here, folks. Boom. Okay, here we go. Your most anticipated.
Yeah, so comic Gotham Year One. Big fan of Tom King's writing. Phil Hester's doing the art, who's obviously an incredible artist. I'm kind of a sucker for like really grounded stories within like these superhero worlds. Like Gotham Central is like probably one of my favorite DC books. Which, for those who haven't read it, like hardly any super, you know, like the superhero, like Batman and his rogues gallery kind of in the background. And it's about these cops working in Gotham. one of Renee Montoya's biggest stories. So I was reading that a lot recently. So Gotham Year One, very excited for that. It's I think it takes place over like a few decades, if I'm remembering what he said correctly. But I think it leads into pre-Batman Year One.
Okay.
So it's essentially seeing like the history of Gotham, all through the eyes of I forget his name. I think it's like Abraham Slam or something. He's like a PI. He was featured in the like Brubaker's Catwoman run with Darwin Cook. But yeah, and then film. I mean, Wakanda Forever. Like we've been waiting for it. You know, I think there's a lot of questions about it, a lot of speculation.
For sure.
I'm super hyped to see Namor in it. Teno Puerta, seeing that like Mesoamerican influence, and just see him like, you know, finally be like a like strong Latino character in the MCU who gets to play a Latino. I'm assuming. We'll see. You know, I feel like I don't know if we've talked about this before, Sergio, but like every Latino, Latina who's in the MCU for the most part is like an alien, you know, like, you know, they don't get to play just like, you know, humans.
No. Yeah.
But you know, and you know, America Chavez, we got her, but like she's from another dimension. I don't know how that works exactly, you know. You know, but anyway, TV, actually it came out within when I told you about when I sent you this list, but Mo just came out, started watching it, having a lot of fun with it. Season 3 of Rami comes out later this year. That I'm really excited about. It's a great, just like, I don't know, there's like this genre of like actors or comedians like playing themselves, you know, in like dramatic roles. This is Rami's version of that. But he does something really interesting, which is just like make himself such an unlikable character by the end of like the second season. Just like doing like maybe like irredeemable things to other people in the show. So I'm super curious to see where that goes in season 3. It's been a while. I think it was 2021 or 2020 when season 2 came out. So I'm excited for that.
I checked out real quick the synopsis of Mo. That looks fun.
I put him together because he got his start on Rami.
Okay.
He's like he's like his best friend.
Gotcha. Okay.
And Mo is essentially, it's a show about I don't remember what the actor's last name is, but his name is Muhammad, goes by Mo. Essentially Palestinian living in Texas. He's undocumented, and kind of just like living his life kind of on the margins, you know, selling, you know, like merch, like my mind is blanking, but you know, like fake purses and watches and stuff. And but yeah, really cool stuff.
Okay. I'll check that out. Julio, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I know Elle's she's already picking at your brain at some of your choice. I see Elle's like DMing me. No, but before you get out of here, Julio, please plug you know, your stuff, what you have coming up, what we can expect from you.
So I mentioned the Batman Urban Legends short story. I got that. Next year I've got 2 graphic novels coming out. One is a YA graphic novel from HarperCollins. It's called Frontera. And it's essentially the story of a young boy who he's 16, trying to get back home to Arizona. He's on a journey across the Sonoran Desert. And we like to call it a supernatural border adventure, because along the way he meets the ghost of a migrant who passed away half a century ago, who's now going to help him on his journey back home to Arizona. It's co-created and illustrated by 𝐬𝐭𝐸 Salcedo, who's an artist that I work with a lot. He's one of my best friends. And the other book is called Si Se Puede, The Latino Heroes That Changed the United States. And that's a nonfiction book from 10 Speed Press, illustrated by Yasmin Flores Montañez, who's another incredible artist, who was part of the DC Milestone Initiative program with me. But Yeah,
Hey,
yeah. Really,
congratulations on that. I could totally blanked on that.
thank you,
That's
man.
huge, man. That's dope, Julio, man. That's big
Thanks.
time. Much deserved. Yeah, you got some like stellar creators on that milestone team.
Yeah, really cool team.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I got those 2 books next year. Frontera is June 6, 2023, and Si Se Puede is in October of next year.
Hey, my man, you already know when those joints are dropping, we gotta get you back on, man.
For sure, I'll be here.
I'm looking forward to that one with 𝐤𝐸𝐸, man. I forgot he was on
Yeah.
that book. Yeah, he's dope. He's good. Great
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Okay, thank you so much,
Cool.
Julio, and thank you again for offering up the book there.
Yeah, for sure.
We're gonna do the giveaway shortly.
Cool. Sounds good. Thank
okay,
you,
man.
everyone. Jonathan, Sheldon, great meeting you guys.
Adios.
Take care. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Boom. Hey, we're down. Hey, now we can a little bit more in depth. So Jonathan, I want a 4-hour synopsis on your next stop.
Sure. Let me pull it up, the manuscript on.
Oh,
I'll
man.
start reading it.
That's cool. Let me find. Let me pull up the list there. You gotta fill in the time here.
Fill in the time. Well, let's go down the list of why Lawrence is the worst. Yeah.
No, man.
Why is he the worst?
I just feel like by the second season, we get it. You know, they both had transgressions.
But let me stop there. Let me stop before you continue. I'm not even going to be rude. You can't talk about the first season without talking. I mean, the second season without talking about what Issa did the first season.
But the lead up to what Issa did, Lawrence was never going to get past that space in his life until something shook it up, right?
So she had to cheat on him to shake him
So,
up?
yeah, because really, let's be real. He would not be the success he is today if she hadn't cheated on him then. But he was like a man child. Like, she had no business being with him, truly. And that's on her, too. She should have ended things way before they could have even gotten to that point of toxicity. So it's kind of on both of them. But I'm not a fan of the Best Buy era. Lawrence, not a fan. And then when the whole, what's her name? Condominium. What was her name? Condoleezza? Condola. When I didn't like her. The best scene ever in the show was when they recreated the baby when Issa kicked the baby or she threw the baby in the Imagine scene. I just couldn't get behind it. I thought it was like, I mean, I get that stuff happens in real life, but like he just always looks so smug. I don't like that. And so then when by the end of the series and she's like they're in the kitchen and she's smiling, I'm like, girl, this is your life. This is your life. Couldn't the disrespect.
Okay. I feel like you could fill a whole episode on that. Maybe next week, yeah? Maybe next week, man.
Let me just mute you so I could keep going.
Yeah. Hey, Jonathan's top 3 films of the summer. Some heavy hitters here. Talk to us, Jonathan. What's going on?
All right. So the first one was obviously Prey. Such a cool movie. I've always been a fan of the Predator franchise. Yeah, there's been some not so good ones here and there, but the first 2 for sure are awesome. And I read some type of trivia that the director wanted it to be a secret that this was actually a Predator movie, so that people wouldn't find out until they watched it. You know, you didn't know what the trailers were supposed to be secretive and not allude to it being the Predator. I thought that, oh man, that would have been so cool. That would have added so much more to it too.
Yeah.
Like a secret prequel.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was awesome. And then to contradict what I said earlier about DC and sticking with animated movies, I put the Batman because I thought it was a great movie. It was, the Riddler was super creepy. Colin Farrell was awesome as the Penguin. We got to really see, Gotham felt like it was a character in this movie in itself. It felt like a detective story. Might have done some different casting here and there. And maybe, I saw a comment saying that it was a little bit too long, but for what it's worth, I really enjoyed it. And, And then 3, Julio picked this one too. The Northman. I thought that was an awesome movie. The director, he give a indie person a lot of money, they're probably going to turn out something really good. Imagine that. The Witch was awesome. So, and that director did that movie too. Just a beautifully filmed movie. Such a cool story. If you're not familiar with the Northman, high level overview, think Gladiator, but in a Viking type setting.
Okay.
So those are my top 3 films.
After seeing the Northman in your top 3 along with Julio's, man, I feel like I got to give this another shot.
Oh yeah.
To be honest, I tried to watch it, and I don't know if maybe it takes a little time to get into it, but I found it. I'm not really a Vikings guy to begin with, but it was a little slow. And I think I watched it late at night too. So
that's Eggers though. His movies are real slow burns.
Oh, they're slow burn, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So I gotta give it another crack, man, because I keep hearing great things about this one. Does it pick up, or is it pretty?
Yeah, it waxes and wanes as far as the dialogue to action, but overall it it's a great film, especially if you can appreciate cinematography and that aspect of the medium.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, it's beautifully shot. That's for sure, man. I love Prey. Prey was great. I think I mentioned on another episode, after the original Predator, I'd say this is like the second best in the series for me.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. It is that good. Predator 2 is cool. I love it. I love the setting and all that. But this was just something else. I feel like all the Predator movies should be like period pieces now moving forward.
Like do like an Assassin's Creed style with it. They're all set in different areas.
Oh, Sergio doesn't know that reference. Sorry.
I know Assassin's Creed. Come on.
You know what it's about?
Yeah, you got the guy in the hood and
in reference to his reference though.
Yeah,
I don't want to gatekeep video games from you, Sergio.
Anytime we don't talk about often, but Elle knows I'm not. She's the gamer.
Gotcha.
On the channel here. But yeah, I mean, how dope would it be like a Victorian era Predator movie or somewhere, ancient Egypt or something crazy like that.
Right.
That'd be wild. Yeah, Prey really. I wish they would have released that in the
theaters.
Yeah, for sure. Super cool, man. Batman, a bit of a hot take. I think for me it was okay. The biggest thing that I enjoyed out of it was Colin Farrell's performance.
Yeah,
the Penguin was
likewise.
Cool, man.
Now you threatened to kick me off the show because I put the Batman in my top 3. Now you're kind of. now you're kind of.
Hey, I'm saying he's a guest. We gotta come on now. You're a regular. This is, you know what I mean. So I can be a little harsher with your picks out. Yeah. So cool, man. Yeah. Prey, the Batman, and the Northman. Frank saying here the trailer for the Northman made the movie out to be different. Yeah, I didn't watch the trailer, so what were you thinking it was, Frank?
He thought it was about the Southman.
The Southman? Oh, okay. Well then, what do we have? Who's next? Sheldon's top 3 films. What's going on?
Man. So, Elvis, I'm a huge Baz Luhrmann fan, and Elvis, I made this comment last night again after rewatching it with my mom, who's actually around. You probably see me looking around. She's around here now. It's driving me crazy staying with me right now for a couple of weeks. But Elvis is just like, the description I used was it's just like visual cocaine, like all of Baz Luhrmann's films. It was just really energetic, which is crazy because it's like a 3-hour film. But the energy never wanes, and the performances was great. Tom Hanks was great, and Butler was great in it as well. And it was just my favorite film of the year so far. Chip and Dale, I loved it. I'm a huge Roger Rabbit fan, and I feel like this is a spiritual sequel to Roger Rabbit in some respects. there's things in the film you would never think Disney would allow in a children's film, not even just like mature rated type stuff, but just like, wow, they actually let that get through, like that didn't get flagged. So I rewatched it several times, and I've got Prey as well. I'm a huge fan of the Predator franchise. Predator is one of the best films ever made, in my opinion. It's one of my favorite films, and this absolutely lived up to what a Predator film should be. A Predator film, kind of, just to follow up with what Jonathan said a little bit, is a Predator film is a film that you should be able to go into blind, not knowing what it's about, and then like maybe 15, 20 minutes in, you're like, oh wait, this is actually an alien film. This is a film. This is a science fiction film, and even Predator 2, which, I guess people like a little bit more now than when it came out. Even Predator 2 kind of sort of starts out, like this is like your standard, late 80s, early 90s action film, cops versus drug dealers. And it's like, wait, this is actually a science fiction film. This is actually, a film about, aliens. So those are definitely my top 3. I would highly recommend each of those. I've rewatched each of them at least twice. So yeah, I also had Everything Everywhere All at Once and Top Gun amongst my favorites as well. But these are 3 that I kind of find myself revisiting the most.
Sure. Elvis was a great historical fiction movie. I will say I don't usually do this, but I would love to recreate the best scene in the movie. And he's what? That was probably I always rewind. He's what?
That's gonna be one of the greatest memes for the next few years. Trust me.
Absolutely.
Man, Frank saying would love to see the Predator dropped in the Roman Empire times. That'd be sick, in the Colosseum or something like that. A scene in there. Man. Hey, what? Sheldon, you guys are right, man. You gotta. Who's got the Predator IP now? Is it Marvel?
Marvel, yeah.
I feel like hit them up, man. Let's get some dope Predator content out there.
I wouldn't be mad at that.
Marvel, if you're watching, man, we got some dope creators on here, man. We got some amazing ideas. Yeah, Chip and Dale was fun. I watched it when it dropped. That was cool.
Yeah, I've seen it 1 million times because my boys, they love it. And my daughter, she's so emotional. She's about to be 11. But like every time she sees like the trophy wall, she's like, they're just all gone. I'm like, but you've seen the whole movie. But it just guts her, and I'm just like, that's funny. But so she probably won't be a serial killer when she grows up, so that's good.
What do you guys think of this Predator behind enemy lines during World War II killing Nazis?
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of plenty of places we can drop that Predator. Civil War Predator. Come on, let's do it.
Yeah. And you know what? I hadn't heard of that, the secrecy of them wanting to keep like it being known, but I feel like that would have been amazing. Just like a drop, and then as a viewer, I think it would have added that much more to the.
But you don't like surprises, because I tried to get you to watch Fresh without watching any trailers or nothing, and you were like, you stopped watching it before the twist.
Well, we really want to talk about your.
Yeah, that was it. That's easily in my top 5 movies of the year. Fresh was fantastic.
Oh man, I don't want to throw you under the bus in front of company, man. We've got company here. I'll be nice. Who's up next? Let me pull it up here. The Jonathan's picks. My top 3 films. I won't. We already spoke about it. Maverick, unadulterated entertainment, man, at its finest. I love this. I've seen it like no less than half a dozen times. I'm actually going to try to watch it one more time in the theaters before the run ends. Everything Everywhere All at Once is my number 2. Just a great story, fantastic storytelling, and just they really did some crazy wild stuff with the cinematography. And then 3, Turning Red, baby, Toronto, hometown. I love that it was set in my city. Just a cute, fun story. Can't recommend that enough. Another film with Generational trauma is a theme. Did I go back? Where am I? What's going on here? Elle.
No, it's not me. It's you.
Oh man. Elle, your top 3 films.
The Batman.
Mm-hmm.
It's the only movie that has come out this year that I've voluntarily watched multiple times, and I will always say this about any superhero or comic book movie: not every iteration of it is for everybody, and I respect that. Like, I know not everybody likes Batman vs Superman, the Snyder cuts. I can appreciate all of that, but for me, this was the Batman movie. Like, I loved it.
Yeah. And
yes.
Not to interrupt, Elle, but Jonathan.
What to interrupt?
But I am going to.
Yeah.
You had mentioned you would recast, or you'd have maybe some different casting ideas. Curious as to.
Yeah, I mean, I was willing to give what's his face who played Robert Pattinson a chance. I know a lot of people instantly hated the casting choice because he was in Twilight, and I'm not that kind of person. I would give the people who do the casting more credit. They see things in actors. They're artists too. People hated on the casting of Michael Keaton as Batman and Heath Ledger for the Joker, and those turned out to be legendary performances. But after seeing the Batman and giving it a chance, I was like, I don't see him as Batman either in the costume or as Bruce Wayne in that movie. And I think those scenes, especially as him as Bruce Wayne, I felt like I was pulled out of the movie in those few scenes. So. So everything else, fit for me. I loved Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman. Everyone was great in that film. And not to say that Robert Pattinson didn't do a good job acting. He just didn't look the part to me.
You know what, and I'm gonna honestly, I'm gonna agree with you on that one. I think for me, when I saw Batman's first. When he had that in the opening scene, and there was the group of the young thugs, and he came out of the shadows. For me, like, Batman should be this imposing kind of, like, you want to be, just a raw fear, right? And I didn't get that out of this particular Batman in that film.
He's still baby bats though.
Yeah, I don't know if it was a combination of the costume and the performance himself, and maybe even I couldn't separate Pattinson from the role, right?
He's been in so many diverse roles though. I feel for me, and I'm secretly, I love Twilight secretly in Secret in Public. I do. I unashamedly. But like Lighthouse, Good Time, like he's been in he's been in that one awful movie though. We won't mention it.
Yeah, we're getting real now here. Boo this man.
Yeah, boo. I loved Robert Pattinson as Batman.
Hey.
And I thought the casting for everybody was pretty I liked it. I mean, but yeah, I'm biased. I like all Batman, so Black Phone is probably for me my favorite out of all the movies I've seen this year. I feel like it gave the horror genre like something it really needed right now. It took the traditional like creepy scary guy thing, but there's so much like depth in this movie emotionally. Like they didn't, like, the victims weren't just victims, like throwaways. Like there were like heartstrings throughout the entire movie. I was bawling by the end of the movie, I'm not gonna lie. It was excellent. And then Everything Everywhere All at Once, also basically any movie that can make me cry, I'm gonna be like, oh, it's my favorite. But Everything Everywhere All at Once, yeah, I do. Sad Girl Hours. And the Black Phone was just, I felt so heavy when I was done watching it, but it was excellent.
Yeah, it was cool. I watched it just the other night, actually.
Yeah, I told you it's a bad idea to go as Ethan Hawke for Halloween. Don't recommend.
No?
Please return the black van.
Not a good look.
Not a good look for the show.
Man. Oh, man. Okay.
Lighthouse I loved Lighthouse. That scene of the year, am I right? When he's standing in the underneath Willem Dafoe. Am I right? You guys remember?
Don't recall, ma'am.
No?
No.
He got a little something on his face.
Oh, oh man. The brother sister dynamic in the Black Phone was phenomenal.
Yeah.
What you saying? Yeah, that was cool.
Yes.
Yeah. Have you guys watched it, Jonathan, Sheldon, Black Phone?
No, but I want to.
Yeah.
I tweeted about it open night. I said that it was great. Black Phone was great. I really enjoyed it. Yeah. Someone was saying that also that they went to go see it and they were upset that somebody had brought their 10-year-old to see it to the movie theater. And I was like, I could have handled the film like Black Phone when I was that age. You know, it just depends on the kid. You know, it's not like super gory or anything like that. It's more.
If anything, it's a warning.
Yeah.
And especially with my kids, and I teach my kids, like, it's unfortunate that we live in a time or even a place where it's something as simple as my kids are empathetic. If they saw somebody drop their stuff, of course they're going to try to help them. But we live in a time where it's like, sorry, do not. Don't make eye contact. Don't do any of that stuff. So
scary.
Yeah.
Very
but
awesome.
my 11-year-old, she watched it with me. I don't think it's not that kind of movie, but it is. I feel more of an emotional than scary movie.
Okay. That's fair. Quickly, I'll go through. So this is FellHound's top 3 TV shows. Birdie Wing. I guess there's an anime.
Anime.
I'm not familiar. Anyone on the panel can talk on that?
No.
Yeah, never heard of it. First Kill is number 2. Another one I'm not too familiar with.
It's a high school lesbian vampire show.
Yeah, it's like Romeo Juliet type of vampire type show a little bit. It's pretty good.
Okay, cool. And I just realized there's a Netflix one, eh? Okay.
Well, it was on Netflix.
It was get canceled.
Oh, they dropped it, eh?
Yeah.
Man. And then her number 3 pick was Only Murders in the Building season 2.
I like Only Murders. It's a nice like evening watch, you know, chill, relax, laughs. Yeah. I
haven't watched it, but I want to watch it just for the two what are the names?
Martin Short.
Martin Short.
Short
Steve
and
Martin.
Steve Martin. Yeah. They've got some great older flicks. And
I'm not gonna lie, Selena Gomez, her acting is a little stiff, but for this show, it works.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So that's FellHound's top 3. What do we got next? And then we went through Julio's. Again, man. Yeah, We Own the City. Man, I want to fight Bernthal, man. Yo, like I just great performance there, man. And then here we go. Sheldon's top 3 TV shows.
Yeah, we got P-Valley is by far the best show that I've seen this year. I know you see the strippers and everything like that, but it's so much more than a stripper show. Trust me when I tell you that. It's so much more. It's got politics. It's especially this second season in particular is really prophetic. You know, they filmed it earlier, possibly even last year, and they had an entire episode devoted to abortion right when it was overturned by the Supreme Court. And then it's set in Mississippi for those of you who don't know. And then like a big part of the show this season revolves around water, and we see they're having a water crisis right now in Jackson, Mississippi. So it's just an insanely well-written, surprising show. Like you'll watch it and you'll be surprised at just how good it is, especially the dialogue and the writing. It's just an incredible show.
Sergio said he watched it, but I think he said he watched the dance cut.
just the
stage cuts.
Just the stage cuts. Hey, you like my choice of gift there? No, but it's funny that so you sent me your picks, Sheldon, and then literally the night before I just watched for the first time the first episode of season 1, and you know, to be honest, man, I found it like it reminded me of your writing, you know, in your books, man, you know, just authentic, real, you know, gritty that we don't always get in media. So I appreciated that.
That's probably why it's right up my alley. When I saw it, I was like, this kind of reminds me of something that I would write. It's
Yeah,
not
man.
the only thing that's really not authentic about it is, not to tell on myself as somebody, if you're in Miami, Julio he can attest to this. Miami's like a huge strip club town. Like, how like in other cities, it's like, oh, you go to the McDonald's and you make a right at the McDonald's. Like down here in Miami, it's like, yeah, you go to the booby trap and you make the left at the booby trap, and everybody knows immediately what you're talking about. Like that's how many strip clubs are down here. So like the only thing that's not authentic is they're not spending money like that in strip clubs anymore. That's probably like the only thing that's fake about it.
Hey, we're in a recession, baby. It's time.
They're not tossing dollars like that in the club.
No, that's pre-pandemic days, man.
Yeah, man.
I know. I was like, yo,
But I got the boys. I'm not going to talk too much about the boys. Everything that's been said about it has been said already. There's nothing more that I can really add. I guess I can have one little small critique to it for this season, and it's not even really anything big. I would like to see the 7. We don't really see them doing superhero stuff anymore. It's more sort of just the backdoor stuff, but it would be nice to see them doing some superhero stuff. And that's like the gist of my criticism for the show. It's not even something that's realistic or real. It's just super nitpicky. So I'm not going to talk about that one. And then Winning Time, it probably is the most fun show. It's probably the show I look forward to the most watching. Shows like Winning Time and P-Valley, it speaks to just the episodic format of just watching one episode per week. I think that's something that's kind of sort of lost with these Netflix shows. I think it's superior just watching it weekly and releasing it weekly. But Winning Time was great. One of the things I loved about Winning Time was people who weren't even necessarily into sports or knew the history of the Lakers. They were able to get into it and they were able to enjoy it. So yeah, I just found Winning Time was incredible. I have one more almost snuck in there. We kind of briefly talked about it a little bit, but that was Rap Shit. Rap Shit almost made my cut. But, yeah, that's my top 3.
Hey.
And how do you feel about Cliff? Because Cliff is another Lawrence to me. It's a throwaway. Get him out of here.
Listen, man. Listen, sometimes some people are addicted to the toxicity. They know what they know what it is.
Who do you like better, Lawrence or Cliff?
I like Lawrence.
Okay, and you know what? I will agree with you on that. Cliff is
he's a bit of a POS, and he you can say what you want to say about Lawrence. You never got the idea that Lawrence was playing mental games and mind games. Cliff's playing mind games.
Yeah, Lawrence is too simple to play games. He's just real simple. But yeah, but Cliff, oof. And Rap Shit, I feel like I really hope it gets renewed. I'm hoping that with Issa behind it, it'll keep going. But like all the the cuts HBO Max has been making, I was like, do I even want to get into this?
I feel like it would be safe. I feel like there's certain people they don't want to they don't want to piss off. They don't want to get on the bad side of, just for optics reasons, amongst other things. So I'm pretty sure they're not gonna mess with Issa's shows right now.
And opposite end of what Julio was saying, I actually liked the inclusion of social media because I feel like that's such a relevant aspect of making it, or in quotations, making it, especially with having to go viral most of the time. Even with the inclusion of the Spotify, her friend working for Spotify, it's like, but is it trending? And so I think it's such an important aspect of making it today that I appreciated seeing how, because it is a little cringy when you see other people doing it. I'm like, because I have friends who will do TikToks and other skits and stuff. And I'm like, for me, I couldn't do it. But I see that that's something that's necessary nowadays in order to become successful, at least on the internet.
It's funny that Julio brought up that specific criticism of the show, because I promise you, I tried watching Rap Shit, and that's what I got like halfway through episode 1. It was too much of that social media stuff. I thought if it was, I
can tell you, I can tell you that I think that's a bit overstated. In the first episode, it's real heavy, but they kind of sort of back away from that as the
I
episode.
feel like they were establishing like what this is the world we're in. They were like world building, right? And so by the time you get more episodes in, like you see them on their phones and stuff, but it's like it's not as like overt.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Let's keep it moving here, folks. Who do we have? Oh, Jonathan. Okay, your top 3 TV shows, my man.
All right, so I got season 4 of Stranger Things in there. That was a blast. I love that show. I am a little worried that we didn't get the last season of Stranger Things, but we might have got the last good season of Stranger Things. So
what's your worry there, bud?
I don't know. I mean, the nostalgia factor I think is wearing out. Yeah, that's about all I can say about that. I know there's plenty of more story to go to, but it was still a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it, and when a new season of Stranger Things is out, it's almost like Christmas. Everyone's just like has something in common with each other outside of your house. You know, people, almost everyone's watching Stranger Things, and you see it in all of the social media and things like that. It's like, yeah. Obi-Wan Kenobi, lots of fun. They got it right by saying, "Oh, people really like this Darth Vader guy, so let's give him some more screen time for once." You know, people go to Star Wars, and I shouldn't. I know that's a heavy, strong, opinionated fandom, but people like the lightsabers and people fighting with lightsabers. So put more of that in a TV show and movie. So yeah, I really liked Obi-Wan Kenobi. I have some questions for the creators, but I'll save that if I get them in private. Then Peacemaker, so much fun. Every episode I was trying to learn that dance. I was on my couch like, was it this?
Hey,
learn that dance.
That makes 2 of us.
I'm gonna learn that dance. Happy to see that we're gonna get a season 2 of Peacemaker. What a cool way to. And I realized I just contradicted myself again with the whole DC sticking to animated. That's a DC show. Taking I mean, not even a D-list character and making a hit spin-off TV show of a slightly rebooted movie. I mean, how often does that happen? Yeah, lots of fun. They took a character that you hated in one movie and gave him a show, and then you loved them. So, yeah, really love Peacemaker. So, those are my 3 picks.
That was cool. And for those who don't know, one of the few times Elle has ever been on camera on video, if you check out her TikTok, she's actually got a 5-minute, or she recreates the opening dance sequence. Great stuff, Elle. You killed it.
Thank you.
So I'll drop the link. I'll drop the link for
everyone. And I will say I loved Obi-Wan too. I'm a big fan of the prequel of the first 3 movies. On purpose. I love them. Jar Jar forever, am I right? And even the comic book, even the Obi-Wan comic right now is so good. Like it has such like big early 2000s vibes in it. And so yeah, I loved Obi-Wan too.
Jonathan, if you could, would you write Peacemaker or Obi-Wan first? Would be like, would you go with?
Probably Peacemaker.
Yeah.
I think I'd have fun working in a lot of the other random, lesser known DC characters and see those type of interactions. You know, Star Wars. Don't get me wrong. I'd love to get my hands on that license, but yeah, I think that also comes with a lot of heavy weight on your shoulders too when you do that. So.
Man, the Star Wars fandom is no joke, man. It's like you gotta have thick skin to, you know. Man, Sheldon, who'd you go with? Peacemaker or
Star Wars. You don't even have to finish asking me. I'm a unabashed Star Wars fan. There's really like only one movie that I don't like. I like all the TV shows. I watch all the cartoon shows. you know, I was asked this question in another interview I did, which was if you could write any character that you don't own, and I really don't have any interest in writing any Marvel or DC character. It would be Star Wars. That's what I would do.
Star Wars, eh? Okay. Hey man, hopefully we get to see that one day, man. That'd be dope.
Lucasfilm will never let me do what I want to do. I know everybody says this. I've got the most brilliant story ever. It's so good they won't even let me do it. Trust me.
Hey man, we gotta have that conversation in private. I'd love to hear that, man. That pitch, what you got going on, man. You know, that'd be great. That'd be great. Let me find the next slide here. Who's up next? Yeah, and I'll be quick about my picks. Severance, to me, season 1, for those who are not familiar, Apple TV show. It really, and in my opinion, one of the best seasons of TV in any genre ever, man. I was just completely captivated by this series, and I kind of went in blind, not knowing too much about what it was about. But I promise you, folks, you're gonna be like on the edge of your seats with this one. Fantastic, and just yeah, I don't know what else. Because you watched it as well. What can we say about this without spoiling too much, man?
I like, to be honest, when I tell people to watch it, I just be like, oh, you gotta watch Severance. I don't even really know how to explain it. Besides great. The alters or the others, what do they call them?
The innies.
The innies, yeah. Like, so, like, I'll loosely explain that concept, and then that's it. Because it's honestly, I would probably sign up for it. Would you?
No, hell no.
I'm not trying to remember what I did today.
so the Severance is a world where people are able to have their personalities, their minds split in half. There's the work personality, the innie, and the outside personality, and they have no memories of each other, right? Like once you leave the confines of your work environment, that's it. You don't remember anything that's going on, and it's an interesting premise because it's almost like you're they're like in jail because they're constantly in the workplace. That's the only memory that they have, right? So it's a trip and a half, but just great mystery to it. Can't recommend that enough. Better Call Saul season 6. I think it might have been with you, Sheldon, that we were talking on the timeline, or I had asked. I said, is it Better Call Saul at this point? Is it better than Breaking Bad? And for me, it just might be. But you had a great point, Sheldon. I don't know if you recall.
Yeah, I don't think so. Not that it's bad. It's one of the best shows ever made. But Breaking Bad was elite from episode 1 to the final season. And not that Better Call Saul wasn't good when it first started, but you can tell it took them about a season or 2 to kind of find their footing, for them to establish that solid base. So that's why I give the edge to Breaking Bad. Yeah,
for sure. And when you brought that up, I said, damn, bro, Sheldon's got me there. Absolutely true, man. It's a great point. Is like from the jump, episode 1, Breaking Bad just kind of took off.
And I'll co-sign that because I'm catching up on Better Call Saul still, and I'm on season 2. And I love Bob Odenkirk, but it is much more of a slower build into like binge worthiness. Where Breaking Bad for me, after like the 2nd or 3rd episode, I just couldn't stop watching it. Like I didn't want to stop watching it.
Yeah, that's fair. And then The Boys season 3, probably it is my favorite comic book content for TV. I don't think anything else really comes close to that. Elle, your top 3 picks, ma'am.
Oh, The Bear, Sweet Baby Angel said, am I right? The Bear was so good. It was so stressful. And you even said something like about episode 7, and you were like, oh, Elle is like so stressful, like, but and then when I finally watched it, I'm like, oh yes, this reminds me of how I work on HoN. I'm very frantic. It's very much a lot going on all at once, but it all comes together. The food's gonna be good. So like Sergio, chill. Like let me be manic behind the scenes, and it's all gonna work out.
No. Have you guys watched The Bear? Jonathan Sheldon? No.
I've only watched the season premiere. I have not finished it. I've got to watch actually all the FX 30-minute joints. I got to finish Atlanta, and I got to finish Dave. Those I actually have those specifically, the 30-minute FX shows to finish.
Okay.
I love Dave so much. Oh, so good. I think they have there's like an anthology series on FX. John Barenthal has an episode on there recent about gun control. And so when I saw some of the stuff in more recent times that he'd be saying, I said, it's just a lot. But it was an empathetic, it was a very, I'm gonna remember the name of the show, but it was an excellent episode. But yeah, The Bear, I think my favorite part of The Bear is all the characters feel real. They all feel lived in. They all felt familiar. And I think that lent a big hand in how the series went, like where I was rooting for every single individual character, even the ones that you don't necessarily like. Like I was still like, you still have a chance to be a better person.
For sure. And Marklin, just a heads up, The Bear is probably the most stressful season of TV I have ever watched. There was one episode in particular. I mean, the whole season is like, you gotta have like episode 7 legit gave me anxiety watching.
You got
that.
an ulcer.
I couldn't take it. I said, this is too much. Like, it's just a high energy, like very tense kind of like. Is that the best way to describe it? Like just because they work in a kitchen environment, right?
Yeah.
So, you know.
Yes,
like,
Jeff.
Crazy. No, that was too much. I almost couldn't take it.
And I actually caught up on The Boys. I've been saying that since season 1. I'm like, I'm gonna catch up this year. And I actually did catch up this year. And I'm like, what a good show. And then I'm like, everybody's been saying that like the last 3 years. But I'm like, how excellent. And I know a lot of people had their opinions on Herogasm, but I appreciate the subtlety of it. In you told me you would actually, that's the only way you open the door. And so but The Boys was excellent, and then Severance was good. I haven't watched Diabolical though. I'm
not familiar with that Diabolical.
That Boys, that anthology.
Oh, I watched off of
animated.
Yeah. I watched the first one, I think, the first episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was cool. Yeah,
and it is very hard to watch too when you have kids. Because, you know, my boys, they'll walk in on like the action sequences. They're like 4 and 6. And it's like, and so my son, he's 6. And he's like, am I old enough to watch The Boys yet? I'm like, no. And then he'll like come to me the next morning. I grown more. I'm like, no. And so, and then just like, obviously with a lot of the scenes, you're like, there's absolutely, I'm going to wait for them to go to sleep. So it was very hard to like binge watch The Boys, but I really enjoyed it. It lives up to the hype, absolutely.
I would say for Diabolical, even if you don't watch it all, I mean, I love them all, but the final one, it actually kind of ties into the actual season a little bit.
Okay.
It gives you a nice little background between Homelander and Black Noir's relationship, and it actually makes that season finale hit a little bit harder.
Yeah, you had mentioned that. Yeah, I gotta check that out because that was probably not maybe fleshed out as much as it could have been, the relationship with Noir and Homelander, I think, you know. But yeah, I mean overall season 3 was great.
So many sound bites from the show too. And it's a little bit embarrassing because I was like, I have like a folder on my phone and it's like all Homelander clips, and I'm like, I probably shouldn't tell people about this, but the sound bites from Homelander are just chef's kiss. They're excellent.
You like Homelander? You like? I want to be friends with him.
I can change him.
I can change. Oh man, that's.
I was joking.
So to keep it moving, FellHound's most anticipated comic is a mystery queer spy book from Skylar Patridge and Jordan L. Saka. It's unannounced, she had mentioned to me. but that's what she's looking forward to checking out.
Skylar's tweeted about it a few times. So
Yeah, they've teased it,
Yeah.
but it's not officially announced. Yeah, yeah. And then her most anticipated film is the Community movie. Based on the TV show, obviously. And her most anticipated TV show is Arcane, season 2. I'm not familiar with Arcane. What is that?
It's on Netflix. It's animated.
Oh, it's an anime thing, eh? Okay.
no,
So
it's animated.
oh, animated. Oh,
Yeah.
apologies, ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
Don't
Because
correct.
if you don't watch it, it's anime. That's what you said.
And then Julio's most anticipated. We got into that with him.
Yeah, it's a League of Legends show. It's a character from League of Legends.
Okay. Sheldon's most anticipated. Okay.
Yeah, we got just a Brian K. Vaughan special here, Saga and Spectators, which actually I learned from this podcast actually about Spectators, and that is free actually. For film, I got the Fablemans. I watch anything Steven Spielberg, best director ever, my favorite director. I'll talk all day about Steven Spielberg and Wakanda Forever, and TV shows Ring of Power. When I sent you the list, it hadn't come out yet, but now we've got the first 2 episodes that are out, and I'm thoroughly enjoying that. Thoroughly enjoying it. Looks like they spent that $1 billion very, very wisely.
Oh my God!
It's just the incredible production values. I'm really into it so far. So that's my most anticipated.
Hey, yeah, I watched the first 2 episodes of the Rings of Power, and I've never been impressed. Like the production value, you've never seen it on a TV show, something like this before. It matches or even exceeds the films, right? Like it's that good. And then I think what's the number? Like is the highest budget for a TV show, like by far, like something like 350.
They're saying $1 billion for the series, and I doubt it's quite $1 billion. Probably a lot of production and advertising is included in that budget, but it's certainly north. I would say probably. I don't know. Whatever it is, they're spending it wisely. Sometimes you'll see a film, it's like, oh, this is a $200 million film. And you're like, well, a producer is walking around with $190 million because I know it's certainly not on screen, but that's not the case with this.
Yeah, no, it's great, man. I'm loving it. And then can you talk to us? What's the Fablemans about? Because I'm not familiar with that.
Yeah, so it's Spielberg's film. It's actually the film that he decided to do instead of Indiana Jones 5. It's why he put that one aside, and he's doing this one. It's semi-autobiographical film about Steven Spielberg, not Steven Spielberg, but it's based on his life, and it takes place in Arizona in the 60s, I believe. And it's got Seth Rogen in it. It's got Michelle Williams. She plays his mom. Seth Rogen plays his uncle in the film, and other than that, people don't know anything about it. We don't know if it's a genre film. We don't know if it's just a straight drama film. Like it's he's been really secretive about it. So definitely looking forward to that one.
For sure. Okay. I'm gonna Spielberg does his thing. We know Spielberg content, doesn't miss too often. And then Wakanda Forever for sure. That's coming out November, yeah? November. I'm hyped for that.
Yep. Thanksgiving. Well, I'll be ready.
Okay. So that's Sheldon's most anticipated, and then I believe next up we've got Jonathan. Let me pull up that slide here. Yes, sir. Here we go.
All right. Yeah. So Marvel announced, I think, back in July that they're gonna put on a new Planet of the Apes series. So I'm stoked for that. Always been a Planet of the Apes fan, and they had Planet of the Apes comics back in the day when they were turning out those movies in the past. So I like how they're pulling out these franchises like Aliens and Predator, like we talked about before. So excited to see what they do with Planet of the Apes now.
That's cool. Who's the creative team on that one, John?
I don't think that's been announced. They showed
announced.
one cover, and that's about it. And that's it. So
okay.
yeah.
Okay, cool.
Then for film, really looking forward to Black Adam. I'm not a DC hater. I watch all the DC movies when they come out. I want them to work out. This one looks like they're they might be turning the wheel the right direction. And I'm a big Justice Society fan, so to see that they got Hawkman and Dr. Fate, Atom Smasher, all those characters, I love it. So
for sure.
Yeah, and The Rock was born to play Black Adam anyways. So I've been hyped for that movie ever since I think 7 years ago, and he wore that Black Adam shirt on the VMAs or something like that. I was like, that's awesome. I love it when an actor is really excited for the role, and you can see that them really get into it. And they get the shirt and the matching hat, and it's not just another paycheck to them.
For sure.
And then TV show Willow. I think that's coming to Disney Plus soon, I hope.
Yeah.
Let's do this, man.
Yeah.
Come on.
Hey,
taking
Willow's
so long?
great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I don't know if any who else is familiar, but Willow is like just one of those fantasy flicks from the 80s. You kill him. Who else was in that?
Man. Yep. So that'll be a good one. I'll hit the nostalgia bone for a lot of people, and hopefully rejuvenate that that story to an audience that isn't familiar with it. So
is that in production yet, or that's just been announced?
I think it's already been in production. Yeah.
Yeah, they dropped a trailer for it already. The trailer's up.
The Willow trailer's up? Have I seen that?
I haven't seen the trailer, but
when we're done here, go check it out.
I will.
For sure. So when is that dropping? Anybody know?
I want to say 2023.
Drop sometime next year in 2023.
Okay. Yeah, man. I'm excited for Willow. I was like very surprised. I didn't it's like one of those, I mean, it's cool that they're returning, but it kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
But it's one of those great fantasy flicks from back in the day. And then Black Adam, you were saying, honestly, man, I'm hyped for that one. Just I think in large part to the Justice Society being there, right? Like Hawkman looks great. Dr. Fate, have you guys seen the costume reveal online? Looks amazing, man. Super excited for that. And then regardless what anybody thinks of The Rock, I think like you see the passion, right? Like this guy's legitimately like, hype and like you said, just going crazy over this, which I don't think you've seen anybody else like that, in a property like that. Oh, Sheldon just hooked us up with the trailer link. Thanks, buddy.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. Warwick Davis, yes, who's been in like so many different flicks. Is he? I actually think I heard he's reprising his role.
Yeah, I heard he's going to be in it. Yeah.
Wow, that's unreal, man. Cool. So that'll be fun to see. Yeah. So most anticipated in Planet of the Apes. That'll be cool. That'll be cool. That's a Marvel, yeah.
Yep.
Marvel joint. Okay. Let me see what else we got here. I think we're wrapping it up pretty soon. My most anticipated HoN Volume 2 hasn't been announced or anything. I kind of wanted to ask Julio about it. I said, that's Julio Anta's book. The way it ended, definitely there you can see there's room for more stories. So I'm hoping we get a Volume 2. Then The Flash. Really looking forward to that, despite all the crazy stuff surrounding the actor. I just want to see Keaton as Batman again, to be honest, man. And then you got Sasha as Supergirl, and I think they announced too that Batfleck is going to be in that film. He filmed some stuff for that, so I think that could be some crazy, fun, multiversal, type stuff. And then Severance. Can't say enough good things about that show. Well, one of my all-time favorite seasons. Elle.
Oh.
What are you looking forward to, man?
So there's a plan. Hold on. Doug Wagner and Daniel Hilliard from plastic and vinyl. They have a new comic coming out November 30th called Plush, and it's about a man who goes to his first furry convention, and maybe the furries are cannibals, or maybe they're demons. We don't know, but knowing the books they put out prior, it's gonna be degenerate stuff. And then we have for movies, Glass Onion, and Knives Out mystery. Now it's listed to come out like December on Netflix, but I'm not sure if it's a Netflix exclusive or if it's going to theaters. And then The White Lotus season 2. The first season was originally supposed to be it, but it did so well. And then Jennifer, it does take place at a different resort, but in the same White Lotus brand. It takes place in Sicily this time. And Jennifer Coolidge is returning as Tanya, one of the guests of the hotel. And then I think there's like 2 or 3 other original cast members that are going to be in it from who were working at the resorts. And then like Aubrey Plaza is in this new season and some other people.
I'm not familiar with what's the White Lotus about?
It's incredible, actually. You should definitely check it out. It's about these different families who go to a resort. The first one's in Hawaii, and it's probably the best commentary on white privilege I've ever seen. It's not like, I wouldn't even call it woke. You know, it's just really funny and really hilarious. Very
self-aware.
Okay.
Like it's very good. And it's like what would you, it was like a dramedy kind of, but like it's not what you think it is though. I feel like the trailers and the commercials kind of made it a little bit more stiff than it actually is, but it's excellent. Character driven show.
There's some true, there's at least a dozen laugh out loud moments in it.
Yeah.
It's extremely hilarious. Mike, I forget his last name, but the guy who's over, he's pretty incredible actually.
This is on Netflix, you guys are saying?
No, this is HBO. Mike White.
White Lotus is on HBO. Okay.
That's it, Mike White. Yep.
All right, White Lotus. That sounds good.
I had like 20 Emmy nominations, and it was supposed to be just like a one-off, a limited series type of situation. But when I heard that they were going to bring, and usually I'm like, if you end a show well enough, you're right, there's no need to bring it back. But I was so excited to see that they were going to do another one, because I just thought how they came about things, and it was so well done. I think they could replicate that, in a different setting. Absolutely.
Okay. All right, you guys sold me. I'll check that out. And that's it, folks. That's it, man. We went through top comics of the year, top film, top TV shows. I hope you guys enjoyed that, man. Definitely a couple things on those lists there that I'm just like, okay, I gotta check that out now. So thank you to everybody who joined us and stuck around. Definitely went over the 1 hour ish that had planned for them. Hey, once we're nerds. Once we get into it, we start talking, man. This is what we're passionate about. Elle, do you want to give everybody one last chance to enter what's the hashtag? I had the quote.
Yes, you have one last chance to enter.
There you go. Type
HoN. In hashtag.
Yeah, there you go. Let them know.
Go ahead. You already started.
Man,
I'm gonna let you finish.
No, please, man.
Hashtag HoN back to school in the chat to be included in the giveaway.
Yeah. So for anybody watching, listening, stuck around to the end, last call to be entered. And you got my burner accounts in there, yeah? Elle?
You know what's so funny? You keep saying that because somebody on Twitter absolutely was using burner accounts because they all had the same location in their bios. Because I was like, that's a lot of people who retweeted this. So I clicked on all the bios, and they were all in the UK, and they were all like in the same area. So,
Okay. Hey, Paul Diggs Comics, thanks for joining us, man. Enjoy the rest of the weekend, 100%, man. And if you're one of the winners, we'll let you know. So we got are you able to screen share that?
I might be able to. Yeah.
Please, thank you. And then I'll take this opportunity to thank Sheldon, to thank Jonathan. You you guys are so generous to offer up these signed books. Is great, you know. Very much appreciated, guys. Thank you. So
not my locational being given away by the advertisement, huh?
your location?
Yeah,
Not a bank, huh?
I think that's like a local bank.
Oh, is it? Okay. So let's. How it works, folks? Each one of the creators is offered.
Oh, did we lose Sheldon?
Oh yeah, he's not even in the studio.
Peace out.
Oh, he might have lost that connection there. So yeah, I mean, we'll see. Hopefully, he's able to join us. He's got the link. So four chances to win. Jonathan, Sheldon, Julio, and Fel each offered up a book for the giveaway. Let's shuffle it a couple times, and I guess we'll do one at a time. Yeah. Pretty straightforward. Pretty straightforward for everybody. So here's the first one. Let's say it's for Jonathan's book here. For Jonathan's. And it's Tara. Tara is the winner. Jonathan, what do you have for the fine folks at home?
I have this metal exclusive cover of the Recount. It's a Juice homage cover, the movie with Tupac. It's individually numbered. Only 100 were made. The cover artist is Manu Silva, and it was done by Heat Seekers.
That's incredible. You want to throw it out one more time, and I'll give you.
Try to get the glare to not mess up. There we go.
Yeah, Tara's on a 2 giveaway streak.
Man, and Tara's AKA that's me now. My name is also Tara.
AKA me.
my name is also Tara. Oh man, hey Jonathan, I'll give you my address after. Oh man, that is sick, man. A medal, eh? And you heard there's like only 100. That's super cool. Thank you so much.
Yeah, man. My pleasure. Thanks for having me on.
That's dope. That was for the recount?
Yeah, it was. It's a special edition of Recount #1.
Okay, cool. So that's cool. So the next one, let's do it for I guess we better write it. Well, we got it recorded, so we'll do Julio's book next. We'll give Sheldon a chance to jump back on in just in case it's to the end. So here's for Julio Anta signed book. Who do we got here? We got
Matthew. That's
Congrats.
Matthew.
Congrats.
Congrats.
To the Green Giant. Yeah, dope. You're the winner of Julio Anta's book. He's got, I think he said, a signed copy of his trade paperback. And then let's who's up next? FellHound.
Hold on, let me shuffle.
Yeah. And you took out the winners, so they're not.
Yes.
Thank you, man. Yeah. Yeah, point.
3 steps ahead.
Man, all right, you living it. Amanda W with the win. Got a copy. So I believe the fellow Canadian Canuck won the lone Canadian creator on the panel. FellHound won her book. Signed copy of her web store exclusive for Commander Rao. I've seen. She sent me a pic of that. Dope cover, dope story. Congratulations, Amanda. Yeah, you're the winner. So we'll be sure to be in touch. And then let's do Sheldon. Let's do Sheldon. Brent. We got Brent with the winner. I saw him in the chat earlier. Winner of Sheldon's book. I'm not sure which one it is. But yeah, congratulations to Brent. We're going to be in touch with you. Congrats to all the winners. And thanks for hanging out with us, man.
And this one gets a secret picture of Sergio. No hat.
Yes. Who gets the DM?
Elwood? Elwood.
Elwood, don't pay no mind to shenanigans, yo. Yeah, man, that's dope. Yeah, so we lost Sheldon, but Jonathan's still with us. Hey, Jonathan, give let us know what you got coming out. Plug your stuff, man. You know.
Yeah. On September 14th, so 2 new comic book days from now, I will be featured in a Mad Cave anthology called Lower Your Sights, which is a really important anthology that raises proceeds and awareness to children affected by the war in Ukraine. So I did a 6-page story that's in that anthology. Then next month, coming out with Source Point Press, I'll have 2 one-shots, one of them being Caffeinated Hearts. There'll be a new cover that's different from the Kickstarter version. And then my other book with Source Point is called Hyper Aware. It's also a one-shot. Then in November is the first issue of my black box comic called Dream Master. Dream Master #1 comes out. For those of you who like horror, fantasy, I was super influenced by The Dark Tower for this one. So please check that one out. And then, of course, I have Capable #5. It's live on Kickstarter right now. So we could use your help getting that funded. With about 17 days left in the campaign, and we're around the $2,000 mark. Need about 1,500 more to go.
Okay, getting there. So again, folks, I just dropped the link to Jonathan's Kickstarter in the chats. Be sure to check it out. Capable is a really great story. Actually, why don't you give the folks, if you don't mind?
Capable is set in a world where one day people with disabilities mysteriously start gaining superpowers that are opposite of their impairment. And we follow the main character, Derek Davidson, who is a high school kid, was in a wheelchair all of his life, and all of a sudden he's thrust into this superpower like the Flash or Quicksilver, where he's a speedster, and his life only gets more complicated from there as people around the world are gaining these superpowers but aren't doing the right things with them. So issue 5 is the latest issue. You can get all the previous issues as well. And there's an awesome Kickstarter exclusive cover by Oshred. If you're not familiar with Oshred, she's an amazing artist who was one of Art Germ's students, and she's killing it. So she's going to be a big deal one of these days. I mean, she's already a big deal to me, but once she starts getting on those Marvel DC books, it's just a matter of time.
You know what? And I'm sorry, I should have grabbed a screener of that cover, man. That would have been.
Oh, that's all good.
It's a great cover, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Folks. 100% check out Capable, and I always got a comment here. The Caffeinated Hearts behind you looks interesting.
Yes, yeah, that's a 24-page slice of life story set in the like a coffee shop with a cyberpunk backdrop. So 4 vignettes are told in one day at this coffee shop, and the barista Elle, very fitting, is the main character that we see in all 4 of those short stories. Has amazing artwork by Stefano Cartaselli, who I've worked with before on Freak Show Night and The Space Cadet. He's a Bram Stoker award-winning artist, done a lot with Heavy Metal magazine. So it's really cool that Source Point decided to pick that one up, because I think it's a little different from a lot of Source Point's other books, but still it's a good home for that book.
Yeah,
and the Kickstarter people, we get a little bit of a bragging right, because I still haven't opened that coffee, because the packaging is so cute. I'm like, it's too cute to open.
Yeah, it's like a collector's item.
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't send that as part of the care package. I mean, you know,
I don't think. Can you send food over the border?
You know, I limited the that Kickstarter stretch goal reward for the U.S. people only, just in case there was a, who knows the different rules throughout the world. So
Yeah.
But the international backers did get an exclusive cover that no one else got. That's how I treat my my backers when you support me. So I know that shipping and pledging when you're outside the U.S. is difficult with the $25 typical flat, rate shipping. But I always
know
hook
it.
people up.
Sergio.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, Source Point Press is the publisher for Caffeinated Hearts there.
Yep.
Elwood. And just a gem, lighthearted, great story. Four vignettes. Caffeinated Heart. And honestly, I was very excited when you announced that the physical would be coming.
Yeah.
I did the digital for the Kickstarter. Loved it. So I'm like, as soon as I said it, I pre-ordered it.
Awesome.
Can't wait to have a physical copy of that.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, man, it's really good stuff, folks. Check it out 100%. I guess that's it. Yeah.
Yep. Check out Dream Master from Black Box Comics. It's available for pre-order. It's going to be a 5-issue miniseries or more, depending on how many people pre-order it. So.
Yeah, man, you're busy, man. It's crazy. And then you got the big news. Was announced a while back. The recount being turned into is a film or TV?
It's a film, as far as I know. I have as much news as everyone else has about it. So
okay, all right.
As you can see my enthusiasm about the lack of news.
Oh man, well, fingers crossed we get some news about that. That'll be cool.
I hope so too.
Yeah, man, very dope, very dope. Jonathan, thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on, guys.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming on.
Appreciate it.
You're honestly, you're welcome back anytime. You just hit us up. Hey, I want to talk about this or whatever. Man.
All right, guys. Have a good one. Thanks everyone for watching.
Cheers, buddy. Oh man. 2.5 hours. We got through a lot of good stuff though, eh?
You want to do a cover drop real quick?
No cover drop, man.
You're the one who made me put it together last night after I said, hey, do you want to just do copper drop as a poll? And you're like, no, we can fit it in at the end. Yeah, put your glasses back on.
Man.
Cover the pink eye.
Man, I'm cooked. I gotta stop doing these shows on like 2 hours of sleep. And like
Sergio, let me tell you some life news, guys. I've been up since 4 o'clock. I've already driven, took my husband to work, came back home, fed my kids, got ready for the show. You said be in there 10:35. What time were you in here? 10:55.
I don't know what you're talking about, man.
I've had I'm saying is that I've been up since 4 on the go, ready.
Yeah.
And so I don't want to hear you slept for 2 hours because you were up on the hub.
Get out of here. Figure drawing. Thanks for coming through, man. Great best of list, he's saying. Yeah, we had some gems in there. I mean, L's were kind of mid, but other than that, our panelists were fantastic.
Yeah, Sergio said he made his list after everybody's compiled.
I lost respect when you put the Batman as your number 1 film.
Yeah, I lost respect when you put
number 1.
Anything for anything.
All the films released this year, the Batman is your number 1.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Batman is love. Batman is life.
Get out of here, bro. Man, I'm gonna continue P-Valley though. I watched the first couple.
Yeah, the dance cuts. I know you fast forward them talking. You said less talky, more walkie.
100%. You see that gift? Right, so let me see if I can find that. Stop. Let me go find it. That's a Star Woman.
You want me to stall? Yeah, I had a clip. I had a clip I was gonna debut on the show, but it was a little aggressive. So I'm just gonna send it to you in private chat. But I was like, this is gonna make me look mean if I put this on here.
That P-Valley. If you're not convinced, just look at that. That's drama. That's drama. I said, what's gonna happen? Are they gonna?
What's gonna happen?
What's gonna happen? P-Valley. Yeah, it's cool, man. It's cool. we'll continue the copper drop next week. Well, we're
No, I'll
cooked.
post it as a poll so we have something because it's an empty week next week.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, we'll do that.
We'll do it as a poll.
You'll do that. You'll do that.
Yeah, I'll do it as a poll on Twitter. Another one of my jobs on the show.
You got hey. I appreciate you, man.
And I appreciate you on time.
I give you your credits. You do a lot of behind the scenes stuff, and I mean, again, middling sense of humor.
Yeah.
Biggest forehead west of the Rockies.
Where are the Rockies geographically? Do you know?
The Rockies cut North America in half.
Yeah.
Laterally, ma'am. Don't ask me.
What's the opposite of lateral?
Horizontal. Get out of here, bro. Don't test me. Mark Lynn saying he loves Sheldon's three shows. Hey, real talk. Yeah. Winning Time didn't make my top 3, but it was like right there. Like that's like an honorable mention. Good stuff. Have you watched Winning Time, Elle?
Yeah, I did watch Winning Time. I liked it.
Not lying. You're just trying to be part of the cool.
No, and what he was saying about people who don't watch sports, like I know sports enough, but I don't watch them regularly. Yeah. But I love a good docu-series or like fictionalized version of events of stuff. That's why I said Elvis was a great historical fiction piece, because let me tell you, that motherfucker was not out in the trenches like that. But Winning Time, excellent. And because I love all of those, like what are they called on Netflix, those like sports scandal specials,
like the Untold.
Yeah, Untold. Oh, I love that show.
Yeah. You see the basketball one on the referee?
Yeah, and then the one before that, the one was I felt left a lot of more questions than answers. Yeah. And then the Manti Te'o
one. Yeah. Hey, listen, that one I said, yo, they left out a whole bunch of like
a whole bunch.
Basically glossed over those owners screwing over the players, right? The ones who were actually bringing in the money. Just a whole bunch of
Sergio getting a geography.
Oh, thank you, Amanda. Hey,
they said not in half.
I'm gonna send Amanda my Addy. I gotta get your contact info. Amanda, one of the winners. So we'll exchange Addies, and yeah, I mean,
why would you need to exchange Addies if she won?
Well, I'm saying she said a geography book for Christmas.
It's not Christmas time. Let's not scare people
off.
If you want your reward, give me your address.
Geography. I would say I'm from the Rockies, sir. So he's probably like, this motherfucker. What he's talking about?
You said the Rockies, yeah, the mountains that split the world in half. You got to tunnel through to get to this side.
In the Western Hemisphere, ma'am. He's saying he's from Alberta. Okay. Hey, we got a couple Canucks right now with us. Hey, you wish you were Canadian. Get out of here, bro.
Well, technically, my white side.
Well, we want to talk about that.
Sorry, brought up your no words.
Yeah.
And Amanda, speaking of, the rehearsal, you mentioned it earlier in the chats. The rehearsal is the most chaotic, quiet show. And I love Nathan. I love everything about it. But the way it makes me so uncomfortable, I love it. Oh, Saskatchewan. And you know what? I know what that is because I listened to Missing and Murdered. So
hold on. Pronounce that one more time.
Saskatchewan. That's not how you say it. Say it.
One more time.
That's how they say it on Missing and Murdered, and they're Canadian.
One more time. I didn't catch that.
Say that again. Saskatchewan. Sergio, say it.
I'm clipping that.
Sergio, can you say it?
I'm not gonna say it. So I want
you
to
say
pronouncing it how you pronounce it.
I'm about to go to YouTube.
I'm not correcting you, but that's cool. Okay.
Saskatchewan. How you say it? I'm gonna start pronouncing Toronto.
No, don't do that.
Toronto.
Don't you take it too far now? Don't do that.
Hold on, I'm about to go to YouTube and figure out how to say it.
One more time, please. They're demanding it.
I think it's your Mama Kwan or something.
Yeah. Where's that one from now? One more time.
Alberta.
Get out of here, bro.
Not me getting a commercial. This is
Yeah. Oh my god. I'm not even trying to correct you. You keep living your life out. That's nice. Okay. Okay. Let's wrap it up here, folks. Hey, I just want to thank everybody who joined us today. Congrats again to all the winners. If you're catching the replay, you didn't see your name. Go
I
ahead.
wasn't even that far off. You guys are awful people trying to bully me. It ends in like a Uin. Oh, Saskatchewan. Saskatchewan. W's got.
Man, that's rough. I'm
Saskatchewan.
definitely being clipped and put.
So yeah, I only know that place because of Missing and Murdered. Yeah, that's one of the best podcasts ever.
Okay.
That's where I learned about Canada's dark history.
Canadiana?
Yeah, Canadiana
history?
Mm-hmm.
Oh man. Have you read The Brother of All Men?
Yeah.
Great historical fiction.
There's still Aquarian worship houses locally.
He's getting you. He's getting you some credit. And he's right. He said the first time I was like, what?
But you haven't said it yet.
I'm not correcting.
Because you can't say it either.
I don't know how to pronounce Saskatchewan.
No, don't. No, that's exactly how I said it.
It was most certainly not how you pronounce it.
Oh my gosh! You know what? Go ahead and send me back my bunny mask.
You said Saskatchewan. I don't know what.
I did not say that. I said Saskatchewan.
Saskatchewan. I don't know what you said, bro. Oh man, let's. He's saying they just call it the Sask. I haven't heard that, bro. That's new to me. Okay.
Well, you're not from there, so you wouldn't.
No.
Yeah.
I'm not. Where you from, Al?
Orange County.
Okay.
The OC.
You've been saying that from time. We all know you're lying, bro.
I'm from Orange County.
Okay. All right. Oh, you know what? I never.
I was born at Santa Ana. Yeah. I grew up on Lincoln and Glassell.
Can't believe you're lying, but all right.
Why would I lie about that? And not the cool part, not the rich part. The
Saskabush. See, this is on you to me. Saskabush, eh? Okay. All right.
Wouldn't it be funny if they were like tricking you into saying like slurs, like Saskatchewan slurs?
Us hurting burdens. Albertans. Oh man. Is getting a little info on Western Canada, man.
Oh, that was outside of my place, yeah.
Oh. You okay? You safe?
No, it was somebody's car alarm.
Alarm's going off? Yeah, man.
Mm-hmm. You couldn't even properly throw shade and end the show, right? You couldn't even
wrong video.
Delicious.
For the road.
Hit the wrong vid. There we go. That's the right one. Thanks for watching, folks. Tune in next Sunday, 11 a.m. Eastern for more comics and shenanigans. Elle.
Bye.
No?
See you later, Saskatchewans.
Oh, there you go. That's easy. Oh, that's terrible. Don't do that again.